electrical needs.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Spurs say Coach Greg Popovich's current absence is due to a mild stroke he suffered November 2nd. He's expected to make a full recovery. Assistant Mitch Johnson will coach San Antonio for the foreseeable future. 76ers stars Joel Embiid and Paul George out tonight against Cleveland due to injury management. NFL, the Colts reinstated quarterback Anthony Richardson as their starter the rest of the season, beginning Sunday against the Jets. Richardson benched late last month after a game where he asked to come out for one play because he was tired. Joe Flacco started the last two games, both losses. The change back to Richardson had to be made, believes ESPN NFL analyst Jason McCourty.
Flacco just hasn't played well, and where they are as an organization, you can't keep Richardson on the bench, and Flacco's going out there and they're turning the ball over. They're not doing much on offense. You got to go back to Anthony Richardson and let him develop. So at least, even if the season becomes a failure, you know where you stand at the quarterback position.
Jason McCourty on Carlin versus Joe. Jaguars quarterback Mac Jones starts in place of the injured Trevor Lawrence Sunday against Detroit.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Cannon. Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you why a great performance in win against Mahomes will be the only way Josh Allen stays in the MVP race. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! Go!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tumpley. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yeah!
It's hump day.
Hump day, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Let's hump.
Hump day.
It's hump day.
Steam rolling toward your football weekend.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day.
Hump day feels better with delicious.
It's hump day.
Better with delicious, refreshing Evermore.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Taylor Calandro later this hour.
Hump day.
Sean Salsbury next hour.
It's hump day.
Mary Kay Cabot talking about the Browns.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Kool-Aid's back at Saints practice.
Hump day.
Oh, yeah.
It's hump day.
Kim Mulkey in hour 3.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Goat.
Hump day.
Russ Mitchell will be here.
It's hump day.
The Muse.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hey, Scone.
With Sean Salsbury switching days.
Hump day.
We do.
He took your trivia spot.
It's hump day.
Not sure what to do.
Oh, well.
Muse, please. Pace yourself with the drops. We only do this every single Wednesday. Come on, stop stepping on the drop. Pace yourself.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I don't know what to do.
Hump day.
I think I just get a 3-0.
It's hump day.
You know what?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
As I've told you before.
Hump day.
This, my friend,
It's hump day.
is a radio tatership.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Not
Hump day.
a radioocracy.
It's hump day.
You've gotten better at that.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's all about pacing myself.
Hump day.
Make sure I don't screw it up.
It's hump day.
Unlike you with trivia every week. Oh!
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, let's get going. We got a lot to do. Lot to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
LSU-Florida Saturday from the Swamp. And going into this one, both teams actually have real quarterback questions. And both Brian Kelly and Billy Napier Wednesday on the SEC Coaches Teleconference were asked about their respective quarterback questions. The questions, however, are of a vastly different variety. Let's start with Billy Napier. So the quick catch-up, as you know, Graham Mertz, the Wisconsin transfer, was injured, lost for the season. Actually, his career is over due to that injury. DJ Lagway, the freshman 5-star, number 1 quarterback in the country, was starting in place of Graham Mertz. Well, 2 weeks ago against Georgia, Lagway suffered such a severe hamstring injury, he was carted off the field. Dressed but did not play last week against Texas. He's from Texas, so prevailing wisdom there is he wanted to dress in his home state. Lots of family and friends there. Wanted to be in uniform on the sideline, but wasn't going to play. Well, now we're on to Wednesday. Billy Napier on Monday was asked about Lagway, said he's progressing. Here's the update Wednesday morning about the 5-star quarterback.
DJ continues to improve. I think we've seen progress every day, and I think that's allowed him to participate more in practice. Obviously, we're kind of controlling that environment, but in general, I think we continue to trend in the right direction.
So, trending in the right direction. Listen, I'm not an expert on soft tissue injuries, but you and I have watched enough sports. Like, yesterday on the show, we talked about Jose Alvarado from the Pelicans, hamstring injury. He's out 6 weeks. Like, Zion's out for the rest of the year. That's a little bit of hyperbole. But understand, like, when you're talking about a player that's that explosive, a hamstring injury isn't something you just come back from here. There's the snap. It's a second day in a row. The snap just kind of.
I got you yesterday,
what's going on with that? Like,
better friction.
I mean, I'm good at snapping.
Yeah.
Whistling, I'm good at all
there
that.
You go.
I can
you
suck or blow.
The one with your fingers
no,
in your
can't
mouth?
Do that.
Can't do that.
Can't do that.
Snap with both hands?
What you mean?
Like, I can't snap with my left hand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I can only snap my right hand.
I got it.
Huh?
Anyway, I don't know why. It just evaded me. As I was saying, so Lagway is trying to come back from a hamstring injury. Even if he plays, it's hard to imagine him anywhere near 100%. Remember, this was DJ, we played this for you, but this was DJ Lagway's mother on, do you have the name of the podcast?
It's Stadium and Gale.
The Stadium and Gale podcast, when she was asked about her son playing through this injury.
Yeah, I don't know. I was freaking out when I saw him out there warming up because he had already told me that he wasn't going to play. And then my youngest, I was like, Mom, look at him. He's geared up. And I was like, oh, my gosh. And so, but my professional trade, I'm a physical therapist. Even though they don't respect me as a physical therapist, they only see me as mama. But I'm a physical therapist. So I've always told them, listen to your body. Your body will tell you. And so that's always been really big with me to tell my boys to pay attention to their bodies. And I say, don't rush it, don't push it. But they are competitors. And I know that competitive part. So everything in him wants to play.
Wants to play. She was saying that was Saturday against Texas where she was like, oh, my God, I can't believe he's dressed. So that's Monday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 4 days ago. Actually, when she did that podcast, it would have been 3 days prior. So anyway, the point being, I don't know that we see Lagway. If you don't, you see Aiden Warner, the freshman transfer from Yale, who had a really rough day against Texas, completed less than 50% of his passes, about 120 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks, only ran 3 times for negative yardage. It's obviously sack yardage. If Lagway can't go, major benefit to LSU. And if Lagway can go, I don't see Lagway being very dynamic running, another benefit to LSU. We'll follow it and see. On the flip side, obviously, Brian Kelly is looking at his quarterback, who at times this year has been absolutely sensational, but the turnover bug has bitten Garrett Nusmeier the last 2 games, which prompted Wilson Alexander on the SEC Coaches Teleconference Wednesday morning to ask Brian Kelly about a potential quarterback change.
With Garrett Nusmeier lately, the interceptions and turnovers, is there any consideration being made to a quarterback change?
No, absolutely none. He gives us the best chance to be successful. And, that's kind of where we're at relative to first or second. We have to do a better job for him. He's got to do a better job. And we believe in him. And we believe that as we continue to grow in the first year of a starter, that he gives us the best chance to be successful.
I would like to point out, Brian Kelly's completely right, by the way. Garrett Nusmeier, as of right now, has thrown for 2,866 yards. That would be 7th all-time in a single season in LSU history. Ahead of Matt Mauck, by the way, in 2003 when they won the national championship, and just about 30 yards behind Joe Burrow in 2018. He's got 3 regular season games to go and the bowl game at least. So at least 4 more games for Nuss here. Garrett Nusmeier at this pace is going to probably pass Rohan Davey for the third best single season in LSU history, being behind only Joe Burrow, who in 2019 threw for 5,671 yards. He didn't just throw for 5,000. He threw for 5,600 yards. And then second, Jaden Daniels' Heisman season, where Jaden threw for 3,800 yards. Again, underscoring the absurdity of Joe Burrow, who threw for 2,000 more yards than Jaden Daniels, although Burrow did have 3 extra games. Anyway, 21 touchdowns as well for Nuss at this point. And 5.5 quarters ago, as Brian Kelly said, they were asking Nuss to stand on his head. The turnovers the last 2 games are absolutely a problem. I'm not excusing them. You got to fix it. But to think the answer is to turn away from a guy that had won 6 straight games for you, that was so nails against Ole Miss, that led you to a great win on the road against a dominant win on the road against Arkansas, to think that going away from Nusmeier is the answer and going to a redshirt freshman and Ricky Collins just seems foolish. What you need is to coach Garrett Nusmeier better and to coach the interceptions and the turnovers out of him. That's going to make you the best version of you this week. Brian Kelly was also asked a follow-up about Nusmeier and how he can sort of improve at this point.
If we're not seeing things the way we need to, then we're doing too much, right? It's always been my experience in 30 plus years of coaching that if it's not resonating, then you need to do less. Less is more, all right? Then there's a place to start. It's not the interception. It's where are we starting? And generally it's the basics. It's the fundamentals. So I think in everything in life, we go back to the fundamentals. And so, can we make things easier from a coaching standpoint that allows us to be consciously competent to the level of, an unconscious competent where I don't even have to think about it. I know it so well. I mean, that's where we want to get to.
And that comes with experience. And that's why I believe you have seen that inflection point, that parabolic run, that hockey stick curve for Joe Burrow, for Jaden Daniels, back with Zach Medberg in their 5th season, their 2nd season as a starter. The more experience you get, naturally, the more comfortable you're going to be, the more natural those responses become. Once you've seen everything. And Garrett Nusmeier will get there. Stick with him. Good opportunity this week against a Florida defense that, as we've detailed, is statistically the worst defense you will have faced all year. Always tough to go on the road, tough to go in the swamp, but this is a manageable situation for LSU. Go manage it. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Of course, love telling you about Evermore. Drink Evermore. I was sipping it during the hump day, but I always have Evermore every day. It's a better form of hydration, natural artesian water. Drink it. You can find it online at evermore.com. Order it online, have it delivered, or pick it up at great local retailers. Go to the website, evermore.com, EVAMOR, evermore.com. And remember, at Evermore, if you go to the website, you can find the local retailers near you that sell Evermore. Drink Evermore, evermore.com. Okay, show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers and the New Orleans Saints. We'll now got a quick break, come back. Saints injury report, we're waiting on it for Saints Browns. We do have the participation report. There was a little bit, a smidge of good news, and what a massive day for Jay Johnson and Kim Mulkey. We'll get to it next, AFR.
AFR.
All right, y'all, today is the day. The floodgates, let them open. GordonGives.com, GordonGives.com. It's the website we've shared with you plenty of times. GordonGives.com. That's the charitable arm of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you go to GordonGives.com, the bike giveaway, the 2024 Gordon Gibbs bike giveaway is now open. Now through the December 8th, children can go register to win one of 488 bicycles. It's something that Gordon does for less fortunate children across the state of Louisiana every year. Gordon's given the testimonial. As a matter of fact, the quote is right there on the homepage of Gordon Gives about how he's been blessed and he loves to give back, and says one of the best memories he ever had on Christmas morning was getting a red Schwinn bike. And so he wants to help create that experience for other children around the state of Louisiana. The Gordon Gives bike giveaway registration is now open. Go to GordonGives.com, GordonGives.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Kim Mulkey is going to be with us here right at the top of hour number 3. What a day for Kim Mulkey and the LSU women's basketball team. Just an insane collection of talent here for the LSU women's basketball team on signing day, as Mulkey inks the #1 class in the country. 4 signees today. These were all prior commitments, but 4 signees today for Kim Mulkey, and my goodness, what a haul it was. You know, we continue to look at Kim and winning the national championship in year 2, and the work she did in the portal in bringing in players like Angel Reese, and signing, of course, Flau'jae and Michaela Williams a year ago, but they're only continuing to build even further upon it now. The 4 players that they inked, 4 of the top 15 players in the country. Divine Barrage is the 12th best player in the country from ESPN, number 7 and on 3, number 9 from Prospects Nation. A consensus top 15 prospect everywhere. Bella Hines, Zakiya Johnson, Grace Knox. I mean, you have 3 5-stars and 4 of the top 25 players in the country that all inked today. Divine Barrage is a 6-foot guard out of Davenport, Iowa. Bella Hines, a 5'10 guard out of Albuquerque. Zakiya Johnson is out of Shelbyville, Kentucky. Of course, she passed on Kentucky and Louisville to sign with the Tigers. And then Grace Knox is out of Las Vegas. So, I mean, Kim Mulkey went all over the country, far and wide. Kentucky, Las Vegas, Iowa, all over the place. New Mexico, to go find the best signing class in the country. So, Matt McMahon is set to ink a top 10 class. Jay Johnson on the baseball side. If you look at the perfect game recruiting rankings, it's a little different because you don't have like an on-3 or 24/7 or something like that for college baseball. But this was perfect game. They got LSU with the number 1 class, followed by Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, the top 6 all SEC schools, by the way. Then Oklahoma State, Miami. There's Vanderbilt, Oklahoma. So 8 of the top 10 all in the SEC. So Jay Johnson sits at the top of that. Jay continues to do amazing work, and so much of our focus continues to be on football as it would be. And we're sitting here in November, and the Saints have a coaching change pending, and LSU has a disappointing loss, but still a lot ahead of it. So that's where the focus is and should be. But those 2 programs and the coaches in those programs continue to set themselves up for long-term sustained success with the way that they continue recruiting. So we're looking forward to having Kim Mulkey on with us here to start hour number 3. So here at about an hour and 40 minutes, we'll have Kim with us. It'll be a good convo. Russ Mitchell in hour 3. Sean Salsbury, who we missed yesterday, bumped it today. He'll be with us at the bottom of hour 2, and we'll head up to Cleveland. Kay Cabot will be here with us to preview the Cleveland Browns as they get set to come into New Orleans this weekend to take on the New Orleans Saints, as the Browns are coming off of a bye. Kevin Stefanski met with reporters on Wednesday, and he was asked about Jameis, and this is sort of the big question there. Jameis was so good in the first start he had with Cleveland beating the Baltimore Ravens, came back in his next start, and they really got roughed up by the Los Angeles Chargers. He threw a couple of interceptions, which obviously has been the bugaboo for Jameis throughout his career, has been throwing it to the other team. Here was Kevin Stefanski on Wednesday about Jameis.
I think any player with reps and with time certainly has the ability to settle in or get more comfortable with what we're doing. And, everything we do with our players, certainly the quarterback position, you want to make sure they're comfortable with him. So Jameis has been here since the spring. We've gotten to know him really well on the field as well as off the field. So I think you're getting to know his comfort level with a lot of things, more so with the more reps that he takes.
I think the good thing from a Saints perspective is, as I look at the matchups, particularly with Jameis, who wants to sling it around a good bit, you're looking at a couple of things in particular. You want to look at how the Saints match up on the outside against the Browns. That's something we'll talk about with Mary Kay next hour. But remember, you don't have Paulson Adebo, who's done for the year, and you traded Marshawn Lattimore. So as you look at it, you know that Paulson Adebo, Lante Taylor is going to be one of your boundary corners. And the good news for New Orleans is that Kool-Aid McKinstry was back at practice today. So this really will look like the future of your cornerback position. I mean, it's going to be Kool-Aid, who was your second-round pick this year, and Alante Taylor, who was a second-round pick a couple of years ago. And these 2 guys that are now, Alante's been playing some safety, some nickel, and now he's going to play at the boundary, which is his more natural position. And you have Kool-Aid, who you hope can be a lockdown number 1 corner, and you've opened that door with trading Marshawn Lattimore. Obviously, we saw Cleveland earlier this year send Amari Cooper to Buffalo. So, as you look at it, this should be one of those instances where New Orleans, you're going to learn a lot on your home field with these 2 young guys playing boundary corner against this Cleveland team with a backup quarterback and down a real game-breaking receiver in Amari Cooper. So that's really the key matchup that I'm going to keep an eye on this weekend with New Orleans and Cleveland coming in. So much of what this season is going to be for the remainder of the year for New Orleans, it's going to be. Look, it's not going to be a playoff team. You're not going to rip off 7 straight wins or 8 straight wins and get yourself back into the mix of this thing. so much of what this season is or will be or can be is going to be how do you play and who among the young players develops moving forward. And cornerback's a major spot because of Adebo's injury. Remember, Adebo was going through a contract year. You got to make a decision about him and his future after this season. And then also you traded Lattimore. So here's an opportunity to find out what you have in these two young guys over the remainder of the season right now. Saints are 3-7. You got 7 games to go. Let's see how they look in these final 7 games out on the boundary. And Kool-Aid, again, was back at practice today. The other attendance report, again, we're waiting on the full injury report for the Saints and the Browns. It just seems like Rizzi is a little delayed with everything. Is that, I know, Muse, you monitor his press conferences and everything. He's just pushed everything back a little bit from normal timelines.
Yeah, they were supposed to go at 2:45. He didn't take to the podium until after 3 today.
Okay, so it's his prerogative to do whatever. And sometimes whenever, just so you know, if you play a team, like when the Saints played the Chargers, obviously the Chargers are 2 hours behind, being the Pacific, so everything got bumped by 2 hours. Like if the Saints would normally release their injury report at 3 Central, if the Chargers were doing it at 3 Pacific, that means it'd be 5 Central when both teams issued their injury report, so we're just getting it later. This is just one of those instances where Darren Rizzi's just running a different schedule than Dennis Allen did, which is fine, but that's why we don't have, if you're wondering if you usually come here in hour 1 looking for the injury report on Wednesday, I know you're all lined up here. All of you are lined up here. Wednesday, hour number 1, waiting for that Saints injury report. That's why it's a little delayed. But we do have the attendance, right, from the media viewing period. Lucas Patrick was not seen at practice today. We'll certainly follow that. Could you see more shuffling on the offensive line? Wait for the injury report to see. Cedric Wilson was back. Kool-Aid was back. And then Jamal Williams, who was inactive last week, was working off to the side. And Saints, very well, it appears that Eric McCoy is going to be back this week. So you waived Connor McGovern. We'll see if there is an official injury designation for McCoy, but he wasn't listed among those not participating today. So McCoy was at practice. We'll see if there's an official injury designation, but it certainly looks like he's trending to be back and sooner than initially thought because the target, as our guy Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net had reported, was for the Rams game after the bye. And he was working really hard to get back sooner, and it looks like it could be this weekend. Obviously, the key indicator there was waiving Connor McGovern. So could see that offensive line back to full strength this weekend if McCoy's back, and we'll see what the deal is with Lucas Patrick. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land? Maybe you're thinking about an investment property. Timberland could be a great investment property, so talk to your CPA about the potential tax benefits of owning a piece of timberland. And First South Farm Credit can help you because for more than 100 years now, since 1916, First South Farm Credit has been Louisiana's first call, their first option when it comes to buying land. And by the way, at First South Farm Credit, they can help you finance land in any of the contiguous 48, not just Louisiana. So you want to buy hunting property in Mississippi, you want to buy a ranch up in Montana, whatever it is, they can help you do it at First South Farm Credit. And you can do business with people who live where you live, work where you work, eat where you eat, go to church where you go to church, talk like you talk, right here at First South Farm Credit. Your first option for buying land should be First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. One other quick note here. We'll break. We'll go around the SEC. Taylor Calandro in about 15 minutes for Bourbon Dictionary. The LSU basketball team, their wheels up today to Manhattan, Kansas. They'll take on Kansas State tomorrow. Tigers start 2-0. Matt McMahon met with reporters. Quick update from Matt McMahon on preparing for this first road game, hitting the road to take on Kansas State.
Yeah, I think it's the same whether your home road is, can we put our focus where it needs to be, that 94 by 50 foot court, to do the things we need to get done to be effective as a team. I thought, this past weekend, a lot of distractions. There was a lot going on, and I thought that showed in our first half performance. Well, we weren't where we wanted to be, so I think there were some lessons learned there. But I think as cliche as it is, control what you can control, and Kansas State, both offensively, defensively, and even in special teams, put you in some positions you have to be well prepared, and they have to execute at a high level. So we'll need to have our focus where it needs to be for 40 minutes.
Did he say special teams?
He did. He said special teams.
Kansas State puts you in some tough spots, offensive, defense, and special teams.
That's what he said.
Have you ever heard a coach refer to anything associated with basketball as special teams?
I have not.
Do you think Matt's just a big football fan and he just got that on the brain?
He could be. They're like free throws. Like, Maybe it's called a field goal, so he just got confused.
I don't know, man. That's a little weird. You know, it's not weird.
What's not weird?
Matt McMahon wearing a suit on the sidelines now.
See, I think that's kind of weird.
No, I think it's awesome.
Mm.
I mean, you're talking about, see, that's a dude, like, that's a showman. Matt McMahon, when everybody else in college basketball has gotten stupid lazy ever since COVID, when they all said, oh, look, we can wear wind pants and a polo.
Yeah.
Or a T-shirt. He's like, no, you know what? Your boy makes $3 million a year. I can dress for the job. Go get it, Matt McMahon. Now, I don't care. Now, I'd go sneakers with the suit. Me personally, it's just me.
Sure.
That's just it's just a shift I've made in my personal life. Like, I literally had the conversation with my wife a couple weeks back. Like, do I need to get rid of all my dress shoes? Like, I don't wear them anymore. Let me do it. What am I keeping them for? Anybody a 13? Anybody need some 13 dress shoes? Let me know. You can have them. Go to Goodwill or something like that. But Matt McMahon in a suit, trendsetter, bro. Look at all those other bum coaches with their bellies lopping over their belts going, hey, what's the matter? You afraid to tuck in your shirt and wear a suit? Let's go. I'm with it. I'm with it, Matt McMahon. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Action Industries, actionindinc.com, Action Industries Incorporated. Y'all check out Action Industries. They're a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Hey, look, of course, they've been servicing the petrochemical and refinery markets in our state for 4 decades now, since 1982. But over at Action Industries, man, that's just scratching the surface of all the different services that they offer. At Action Industries, they do offer fabrication shop services as well. So pipe, structural steel, pressure vessels. Not everyone does pressure vessels. And by the way, with their pipe fabrication, they fabricate in separate shops, alloy and carbon steel. The two sections are segregated. They're ASME certified vessel manufacturer, and ASME issues 3 stamps, R, S, and U. They have all of them over at Action Industries. You got to check them out. Also, they do food-grade fabrication. They work with one of the largest coffee brands in the world. It's at Action Industries. If you need additional resources for your mega projects, you have a shortage of skilled labor, they can help supplement those jobs. So give them a shout over at Action Industries. actionindinc.com for Action Industries Incorporated. It's actionindinc.com. Proud partner of LSU Athletics.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, Our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
One of the stories we're going to be watching for the coming weeks, certainly, and maybe beyond, is what's going on with Diego Pavia. Look, Pavia has really stormed on the scene nationally. I mean, we all know his story now. Was at some JUCO, then went to New Mexico State, where last year they upset Auburn. Lands at Vanderbilt this year. They've been one of the real pleasant surprise stories in all of college football, and in large part because of Pavia's playmaking ability. He's been a lot of fun to watch. Well, Pavia has appealed. He's suing the NCAA for another year of eligibility, and his temporary restraining order request for added eligibility has been denied. A federal judge denied Pavia's request for a TRO that would have granted him another year of eligibility. So that does not close the matter entirely, however. So Pavia sued the NCAA in court on Friday, arguing that his 2 seasons playing at JUCO shouldn't count toward his Division I eligibility, since he couldn't profit from NIL at that time. This feels like a prayer, a Hail Mary heave. I don't know that it should work, because if you do grant Pavia extra eligibility, then in theory you'd have to grant everybody who was playing at the junior college level at that time additional eligibility. And while I would love to see Diego Pavia get another year of college athletics, from an LSU perspective, that would suck, because you got to go play at Vanderbilt next year, and I'd rather him not be there, because I think he's a good player. So from a very selfish standpoint, no, I don't think Diego Pavia should get another year. And honestly, I would have to hear the other side of this. Like, if your argument is solely that because you were in JUCO, you couldn't profit off of NIL, and so now you should get those years of eligibility back, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, once you start playing collegiately, your clock starts ticking. I mean, I could say that's the way it's always been. There's a way a lot of things have always been that haven't changed. But as far as eligibility, it's what it is. You have 5 years to play for. Players were granted an extra year due to COVID, but we're seeing those COVID players, their eligibility expire now. So I don't know that Diego Pavia, I can certainly respect what he's doing here. He's probably not going to be a guy that's going to make money at the professional level playing quarterback. So he's got an opportunity for another year in college to profit off his name, image, and likeness, playing another year at Vanderbilt, where he'll probably never have as much celebrity as he does now. So he's trying to capitalize on it. I don't fault him one iota. As someone who's very capitalistic and very much pro-NIL, I get it, but why should he be given an extra year of eligibility? I don't believe that he should. Tell me if you disagree. But it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by our friends over at Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com. Y'all, tomorrow, Thursday. Thursday's the day, y'all. Prime rib over at Supper Club. 21-day dry-aged bone-in ribeye served and sliced tableside over at Supper Club. If you have not gotten your reservations yet, if you've not been to Supper Club, what are you waiting on? Did you happen to see College Game Day? College Game Day, they always have a local eatery that feeds the crew during the show. Supper Club, Chef Layton had the honors on Saturday for College Game Day. Stanford Steve said it's the best meal he's ever eaten while on the road. I popped over to Supper Club after the show last Thursday, and the whole ESPN crew was there. Stanford Steve was there. Thamel was there. A lot of them came in. They were having dinner with Brandon, and they raved about it, as you might expect. If you've never been, you got to try it. SupperClubBTR.com, SupperClubBTR.com. All right, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Tennessee Volunteers.
Volunteers play Georgia this weekend with questions about their starting quarterback, Nico Iamaleava. He was knocked out of the Mississippi State game, with what turned out to be a concussion. Still unclear if he's going to be able to play. Josh Heupel on the teleconference Wednesday said Nico's been good in the early part of the week. At this point of the week, they'll refer to everybody on the availability report, which will come out later tonight on Wednesday. So we'll have much more information on Nico tonight when that availability report comes out. ESPN's Pete Thamel is reporting that Iamaleava is, quote, still uncertain for the game.
The Auburn Tigers.
Peyton Thorne apparently not as far along as Hugh Freeze had hoped. Thorne suffered a shoulder injury. He's trying to battle back for it. They play this weekend, Auburn does, against ULM. Thorne's a sixth-year player. Did not throw at all during the bye week. Returned to practice for Auburn on Tuesday. Told reporters that he'd be good to go. Expects to be available on Saturday, but Hugh Freeze, as of right now, not so confident. The last time we saw Auburn, they lost to Vanderbilt 17-7.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
The dreaded vote of confidence. That's what Oklahoma president and AD Joseph Harroz, H-A-R-R-O-Z, Harroz. That's what he said. He said, we all get emotional during the course of a season. What's unwavering is the commitment to him, meaning Venables. This is a new era for us, but it's also a new era for college athletics, and there's going to be a lot of adjustment. So, Sooners, 5-5, 1-5 in league play. Man, you are a long way away from the Big 12, dog. Venables in his third season, 21-15 overall there in Norman, getting the dreaded vote of confidence.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Jaquindon Jackson, Jalen Braxton, a couple of injured starters for Sam Pittman's Hogs, and the Boss Hog, as people like to say, provided an update for the game this weekend against number 3 Texas. Jaquindon Jackson, Sam Pittman said, quote, he's healthy, he's ready to go. That's good news for Arkansas. Hogs also hope to get Jalen Braxton back, defensive back, but it likely won't be this week, according to Pittman.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
And 5-star wide receiver Caleb Cunningham has flipped from Alabama to Ole Miss. Should we do it? What's the matter with you, Muse? You yella?
No.
Cunningham's the 17th best prospect in the country, the number 2 wide receiver, number 1 player in Mississippi, 6'2", 180, was really a cornerstone of Kalen DeBoer's inaugural recruiting class. Note I said was. Because even after Alabama walked into Baton Rouge and walked out with a one-sided win, a 5-star, one of the top players in the country, looked at Kalen DeBoer and said, Pah! I'm going to play for a real coach. I'm going to play for Lane Kiffin in a place where the beer flows like wine, where beautiful women instinctively flock like the salmon of Capistrano. I'm talking about a little place called Oxford. Take that, Hefty Harsin! You may have won the battle, but I'm winning the war. There you have it. That is around the SEC. They still lost to Vanderbilt. They still lost to Tennessee. They were still in a dogfight on their home field against South Florida. Hefty Harsin still fumbled the end of the first half against South Carolina, needed to survive an onside kick. They still blew a 28-point lead to Georgia on their home field. Don't let the recency of what happened Saturday in Tiger Stadium distract you from the reality that they are facing. No, I don't have time. I got to go to break. I don't have time. You blew it. You blew it. I gave you a 2-minute warning right there. You blew it. You just like a little coward over there is what you did. You cowered in the face of all the stupid bammers on social media coming after you. They ain't coming after you. Guess who they coming after?
Oh, I'm well aware they're not coming after me, brother. I am well aware.
How many times when we did Bama's Burning did I sit here and say it's not about LSU?
Every time.
Every single time. How many times did I say it's not about LSU? It's about anyone but you.
Every time.
Literally every time.
Yep.
Oh, I'll have my day. I'll have many more days to laugh my ass off at you. I wish it was this Monday. It wasn't the case. But that day is coming. Pah! Hefty Harson. Push the button, Muse. Go.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Darren James & Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. Buying or selling, commercial or residential. You need a realtor. You need Darren James. Hey, look, if you're thinking about selling your home, act now. Act now. November, the #1 home selling month in this market every single year. Want to be in your new home for the holidays? You want to be in your new home for the new year? Got to act now. Get your home listed. Let Darren and his team go to work. Let him get your home sold faster and for more money than anyone else. Not just homes, but also land. How about this? Here's a beautiful, beautiful 6.9 acre piece of property in Denham Springs on 4H Club Road. It's listed for 7 acres for $235,000. You're interested? Call Darren James, 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light, choose chill.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. They're the gang with the slang.
Keep it 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
I don't understand.
All right, get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Taylor's here. How are you, dude?
I'm good. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing really well, man. It's going to be in the 40s later this week. My gosh, that is perfect brown water drinking weather. What's new over there?
We got two. Well, one of them's new, and one of them's brand new. One of them's coming back. We got a Knob Creek bourbon and rye.
Okay.
It's bourbon and rye. It's a blend. I tried it over the weekend. It's $45. It's 113 proof. I tried it over the weekend, and it is one of my favorite whiskeys I've tried this year.
But you love Knob Creek, yes?
I love Knob Creek. It's just the perfect blend of bourbon up front with a little bit of spice on the back end. It doesn't drink like 113 proof, and it's only $45. It's fantastic.
You know what,
one of the best things I've tried this year.
See, what you just described to me is exactly why when people ask me, hey, I want to get a gift for someone, spend about $100 on a nice bottle of whiskey, I'm like, you don't need to go spend $100. Like,
that's 45, man.
That's it. Like, there's so much good stuff to buy in that $50 range. That's awesome. Like,
and I got Evan Williams single barrel back, which that's been not around for a couple years, and that's only $40, and that's an 8-year bourbon too.
Okay,
and it's great. I mean, they're both awesome. But that Knob Creek bourbon and rye, I'm telling you, is one of the best bourbons I've had this year.
All right.
Fantastic. One of the best whiskeys.
Real quick, so I don't forget before we get to questions, let's remind people about the raffle. Give them the deets. December
12th, I'm going to start putting out some stuff on social media within the next, I would say, week and a half. It's going to be in person again. That's all the details I really have right now. We're still trying to figure some stuff out. But December 12th, in person, and just pay attention to social media because I'm going to start posting very soon.
Okay, and we'll certainly be talking about it here as well. But December the 12th, set the date, the Calandro's Whiskey Raffle. All the proceeds from the ticket sales go to benefit charity. Have a chance to win the right to purchase great rare bottles at fair retail price. So awesome event, the original really, and the biggest and the best. So we're excited to be part of it again. All right, get your questions in. Email us, tweet us, or text us 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Christian said, ask Taylor, have you tried Sable Bourbon? It's a celebrity bourbon. If so, what do you think of it? I'm always skeptical of celebrity spirits.
I can't remember what celebrity that is, but no, I've heard of it. I haven't tried it yet, no. And I mean, you can be skeptical of celebrity spirits. Some are not good, and I've had some that are good. So, I mean, it just depends from brand to brand.
I'm looking up Sable right now.
Is that? I've heard of it. I just can't remember whose it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to see whose it is. I don't see it. What is a celebrity? Taye Diggs, Morris Chestnut, Harold Perrineau, and Malcolm Lee.
I don't know who that is. Taye Diggs.
Taye Diggs.
Taye Diggs is,
Diggs. So he's one of them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Give me a celebrity spirit that you like.
Well, I said there's good ones out there. Now I got to think about it. I mean, I like Casamigos. It's really, and that was Clooney stuff. It's on the sweeter end. It's fine. Let me think about this. I'm going to answer this question, but let me think about this.
Butch says, any new beers?
New beers. I talked about West Coast Ghost like a week or so ago from Parrish, and I had one this weekend. Man, that is one of my favorite beers that I've had from them in a long time. And I wasn't expecting to really like it that much, but it's light and it's crisp. It drinks a lot lighter than regular Ghost. Check that out. That's a really fantastic new beer.
Darren said, ask Taylor about 1792.
What about it?
Well, tell me about it.
We have small batch and we have full proof in stock right now. The small batch is fine. It's not my speed. I like the full proof stuff though. But I think it's 125 proof. It's a good full flavored bourbon, we have that right now too.
If I might offer, during COVID, when everybody was drinking, most people were drinking a lot. I think you would attest to that. Yes, COVID, people drank a lot during COVID.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, okay. A lot.
So one of my favorite discoveries during COVID was 1792 bottled in bond. That's the one with the with the yellow tape around the neck.
Yeah.
And the 1792 12 year is really that one. And the sweet wheat are really their sort of allocated ones that are hard to find. But I would tell you that 1792 bottled in bond was my favorite new bottle I found that year during COVID. So I would highly recommend checking that out. I don't like the foolproof 1792, but
I do, but you're not a big barrel proof guy or a cask strength guy. But I mean, and if you see any foolproof single barrels door picks out there, scoop them because they're all generally pretty good.
Taylor Calandro over at Calandro's 2 locations. Of course, the whiskey raffle is coming up on December the 12th. Make sure you set the date. We'll see you over there. Thanks, dude.
All right, Matt. See you, man.
All right, be well. We do Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor every Whiskey Wednesday here. We started that during COVID, and we always get a lot of interest, so we've kept it going. Appreciate y'all for being there with us. Okay, we'll head to Cleveland in 20 minutes. Mary Kay Cabot will be here to talk about the Browns. Sean Salsbury in about 35 minutes. When we come back, where does the Saints' job rank among potential NFL openings? That's next.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. Popped over there today, visited with Amber, the marketing director over at the Williamson Eye Center. Also got to chat as well with Kyle, who, when you do the consultation, the initial consultation I tell you about all the time, she's the one that you're going to meet with. And, the thing that I really want to stress to you is that initial consultation, it's not a sales pitch. It is just giving you your options. And they don't charge for it either. So it's a totally free consultation. They even do virtual consultations. And, I mean, this is like a max 30 minutes, probably less than that. I mean, you could do it over the phone, on Zoom, if you're riding in the car. It's just that initial consult to see if you're a candidate and to learn what your options are. Remember, y'all, we're getting near the end of the year. If you have HSA or FSA funds, remember, FSA, they don't roll over. So if you have money, you're going to lose it at the end of the year. So check your account and start that process now over at the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Spurs say Coach Greg Popovich's current absence is due to a mild stroke he suffered November 2nd. He's expected to make a full recovery. Assistant Mitch Johnson will coach San Antonio for the foreseeable future. 76ers stars Joel Embiid and Paul George out tonight versus Cleveland due to injury management. The Colts going back to quarterback Anthony Richardson as their starter the rest of the season, beginning Sunday against the Jets. Joe Flacco started the last 2 games, both losses. Richardson was benched late last month after a game where he asked to come out for one play because he was tired. His long-term development, job one for Indy, says ESPN's Jeff Saturday.
Anthony Richardson is going to be the future of this franchise, and you got to develop him and figure that part out. He played 13 games in college and has played 10 games as a pro. If you don't think development is the number one factor for this kid's long-term success, you're lying to yourself.
Jeff Saturday on First Take. Jaguars quarterback Mac Jones starts in place of the injured Trevor Lawrence Sunday against Detroit. The Raiders are staying with Gardner Minshew as QB1 versus Miami on Sunday.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you why a great performance in win against Mahomes will be the only way Josh Allen stays in the MVP race. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
Hour 2. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, man!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Heading up to Cleveland, Mary Kay Cabot covers the Browns, has for a long time. She'll join us. We'll take a closer look at the Brownies in about 15 minutes. Sean Salsbury, bottom of this hour. Kim Mulkey, 1 hour from right now. Russ Mitchell in hour 3 as well. I tasked Muse with finding out which NFL jobs are likely to come open. There are, a year ago, 8 NFL jobs turned over. That's a quarter of the league. Right now, there are 2, the Saints and the Jets. And there are undoubtedly going to be more. It's just the nature of this league. Teams are impatient. There's tons of turnover. By and large, coaches are hired to be fired. You know that. I'm not saying it's fair or whatever. It's just the reality of it. So I asked Muse to say, look, go look at the odds of what coaches, what places are likely to fire their coach. Dallas comes to mind. Jacksonville, very likely as well. Could be Chicago and others. So I said, okay, go find out what jobs are likely to come open. And then I want you to give me the pros and cons of those jobs so we can figure where the Saints fall in the hierarchy. So, Muse, let's do this. I am going to act like I'm Ben Johnson, okay?
All right.
Or I'm Bill Belichick. Who are the I would say those are probably
Vrabel, maybe?
I don't know that I put Vrabel ahead of Belichick. Maybe just because of age, but I would still think that if there's a contender that's trying to win now, Belichick would be higher on the list. Maybe not, but we'll see. Ben Johnson, Belichick, fine. Vrabel, whoever the top candidates are, you're putting together your pecking order of, all right, what are the most desirable to least desirable spots? I'm trying to find where the Saints figure in. So give me my music. This is our con. So I'm Ben Johnson. Muse is my agent. This is Agent Muse. He's done some reconnaissance, and now he's ready to report to me pros and cons of the jobs that are or are likely to be open, and I'm going to decide where they fall to see where the Saints slot in. All right. Go earn your 2%, Agent Muse.
All right, Ben,
what do you got for me?
How you doing today, Ben?
Doing great as long as you have good news for me.
Yeah.
So I can make a bag.
All right, let's
not
start.
go to some bum organization like the Saints with their awful quarterback Derek Carr. You better not have them on my list.
Let's start with the Jets. That job's actually open. All right.
You know what? I do love New York.
I was going to say, that's one of the positives. You're in the New York market.
You think I could live in Billionaires Row?
If they pay you well enough, sure. Yeah.
Hey,
why not?
All right, let's go.
I mean, yeah. Upper
pretty
East
good.
Side at least, something like that.
Live
Yeah.
in New York.
I mean,
like
there
this
you
a
go.
lot.
Yeah.
Get to go watch the Yankees play all the time.
You would.
Big
You
Yankee
would.
fan.
Yeah. There
Big
you go.
Yankee fan.
I mean, I don't know if Ben Johnson's a big
I am
Yankee
Ben Johnson.
fan,
What are you
but,
talking about? I am
anyway.
Ben Johnson. Don't get me confused with your other candidates, your other clients. I'll fire you in a millisecond, and I'll hire Rock Nation.
Okay. The New York
I'll hire
Jets.
Jaden Daniels' mom.
There we go. Dude, winner.
Better look out.
Some positives for the Jets. Their cap situation's really good.
Okay.
For 2025, they are projected to have $34 million in cap space. That's
like it.
solid. You have Aaron Rodgers, a quarterback, under contract for one more year. Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
But
He's old.
He's old. And then again, it is...
Working with him's a little bit of a
It's
pain
still
in the
Aaron
ass.
Rodgers.
He's
Exactly,
going to go to like
right?
the silent retreats and the dark retreat room stuff. Just a weird guy.
He's kind of doing what he wants at this point in his career.
Feels like a coach killer.
Kind of does.
But he's a good player. But how good is he at 40? Okay.
You go.
Okay, what else you got?
Okay. You're going to be with an organization that's willing to go all in because they have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, fair.
The problem is they haven't quite figured out how to do that yet.
Yeah.
They're still struggling. I mean, it's kind of been like, hey, Aaron, what do you want? We'll give you anything you want. And he's kind of running things, right?
Got it.
So that could be a pro and a con, I think, in there. They're willing to do it, just don't really know how. You also could need to fill a hole at left tackle.
We can do that.
But other than that, you have franchise players everywhere. Sauce Gardner, franchise corner.
Cap space. We got a good quarterback, Super Bowl champion quarterback, owner that by and large stays out of the way. I get to live in New York. Lots of good there. What are the cons?
Well, I mean, the cons, their roster's a little old.
Old.
Average age in 25 is over 27.
Jets.
Over 27 years old.
I like the Jets. Okay, I'm
And
liking the Jets. What else we got? Look, we got practice. I don't have a lot of time.
All right,
what
so
else
we got the Jags as well.
Oh,
great.
You know what? No state income tax.
No state income tax. Jacksonville, good
whatever
city.
you get, that effectively pays your commission.
Yeah.
Right.
You have your franchise quarterback.
Is he any good though? Really?
Well, jury might still be out, but you have him under contract. You have great wide receivers. A lot of weapons on offense for the Jaguars in that regard. If you're Ben Johnson, you love that, right? Great cap situation again.
Oh.
$58.2 million in cap space projected for 2025.
And we're going to be drafting at the top.
And you're going to be drafted at the top.
I like Jackson.
Young team for 25.
Boy.
26 years old is your average. You have consistent ownership, although there's fair questions there, if we're being honest. You'll have to play a lot of games in London.
I'm
How
going
do
to
you
have
feel
to learn
about
to
that?
like. I'm going to have to learn to like scones.
Yeah.
And crepes.
Yeah, you're going to have to do that.
So that's France.
And you might have to replace a tackle.
Valley fin pancakes.
You might. These colors don't run, Ricky. You might have to replace a tackle there as well. Walker Little, unrestricted free agent. But other than that,
They just traded Cam Robinson too.
Yeah.
They traded my franchise left tackle already.
But other than that, you don't have a lot of roster questions in Jacksonville. It looks like a pretty good situation.
Why do they stink so much?
Well, it might just be Doug Peterson.
Maybe they need me. I don't know. He won a Super Bowl.
And maybe Trevor Lawrence isn't great as your franchise quarterback.
All right, what else are we looking at?
The Bears.
Oh, it's too cold. Pass.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a very good situation anyway.
Then again, I am living in Detroit right now.
That's true.
But we do play our games indoors.
It's your division. You're familiar with the division.
I am, yeah.
I mean, there's that.
Anything else?
Rookie quarterback. Jury's out.
He
I know.
stinks.
Rookie deal though for a quarterback.
He paints his fingernails.
He does.
Not into him.
How about $82 million in cap space?
Okay, now I'm listening.
Does that do it for you? Yeah, $82 million. Another young team, but you need weapons on offense. All you have is DJ Moore, and their offensive line is a sieve.
We drafted Rome Odunze.
You did, but you don't have a running back. You need a third wide receiver. Again, you were looking for a tackle and maybe two guards in the draft in Chicago. A lot up in the air. How about Dallas? What do you think of Dallas?
Jarrah?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, you have ownership that's very eager to win and will try hard, but it is Jerry Jones, yeah.
Yeah. But I like that he likes to win.
He does like to win.
You know, almost like some of those, like, I feel with Dallas, kind of like a lot of women feel when they date the bad guy.
Okay.
I can be the one to change him.
I can fix him.
I can fix him.
Yeah.
He only cheated on all those other girls because he was waiting for the perfect girl, and that's me. I am the perfect girl.
Yeah.
That's what I am. I'm Jarrah's perfect girl.
You're Jarrah's perfect girl.
I can fix him.
Well, you have a franchise quarterback who's going to be coming off of an injury, coming off surgery, and you really need weapons. You have CD Lamb, and that's it on all.
But he's really good.
He is really good. He is really good.
What's our cap situation like in Dallas?
$25.5 million.
So not as good as the other places.
Not as good as the other places.
So I don't have a good cap situation. I got an aging quarterback who's coming off an injury.
Yep.
I got a crazy person for an owner, and I don't have any weapons.
Yep. Pretty much.
What's the good thing? Oh, I know what it is. I get to live in Dallas, which means I get to go to Javier's all the time.
There you go.
I do love Javier's. My goodness, what a spot. If you've never been to Javier's in Dallas, make sure you go. They got the cigar bar attached to it. I'm going to tell you. Dinner and a whiskey and a cigar after dinner, I'm going to tell you what. Can't find a place to eat great high-end Mexican food anywhere, Muse.
There you go. So
it's gourmet Mexican.
But is it worth the roster being in disarray?
Maybe.
Okay. One more. The New York Giants.
Oh.
Good caps. Good.
I thought they weren't firing Daboll.
Well, he was the third highest odds of next coach to be fired.
Okay. Well, I thought Mara, the owner, said they're not firing him.
Well.
Okay. Anyway, continue. We already established this. I do like New York a lot.
You do like New York.
I love New York.
And have some evidence that Mara might be a liar.
I got a I Heart NY T-shirt that I wear all the time.
There you go.
Got it last time I was there. My good friend Ryan Terrio, who I've known since he was playing for the Giants. We met back then. I'm Ben Johnson, by the way.
Yeah. Ben Johnson,
He asked me
big
to go,
Terrio guy.
He asked me to go buy him a knockoff Rolex in Chinatown. So I went down there, and in the meantime, I got him the Rolex, the fake Rolex, and the I Heart NY shirt that I wear all the time. So I do love New York.
If the Giants come open.
I also love that song where Alicia Keys goes, "In New York." You know that one?
Empire State of Mind.
Oh,
yes,
man, it's so good.
I do know that song.
Way better than the Frank Sinatra song about loving New York, too.
Yes.
Way better.
Anyway, the Giants have $45 million in cap space for 2025.
Better than Dallas.
Another young roster, 26 years of age.
Is anybody good
25.
on the roster?
Well, that's where we get to the problems here, Matt. You have no franchise quarterback, but you do have a potential out there.
Okay.
It would be a $22 million dead cap hit.
Cap's going up. We can sustain it.
The rest of the team's also kind of in disarray. You need some offensive weapons. I mean, you just traded Saquon Barkley. He's doing all right in your division, by the way. We didn't trade him. He just signed elsewhere. Not the most patient organization either. Mara says they're not firing him, but since Tom Coughlin, they've had 3 coaches. They've all lasted 2 years under Mara, and they've been fired. Brian Daboll's in his 2nd year.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. But again, New York market, tough division, though, as well for the Giants.
Got it. There's another job open that you didn't talk about yet.
The New Orleans Saints. Yeah. You don't want to go there. Horrible cap space, projected $77 million over the cap that is dead last in the NFL. You have a bad quarterback, an aging roster. New Orleans is a pretty good city.
Yeah.
Your ownership seems like they want to move forward, but the general manager doesn't. Kind of have nowhere to go in the front office. You've consistently missed in the draft. Did I mention you're old?
Yeah.
You're old.
Okay. So I'm not going to New Orleans.
I mean, seems like a lot of the ones we went through are better.
I kind of think I like Jacksonville.
Jacksonville looks good.
All right. Let's go to Cleveland. Mary Kay Cabot next.
After further review.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day to buy local and shop local. Get on by. See our friends over at Clegg's. They're open for about another 45 minutes now since daylight savings has ended. Getting darker earlier. They're closing down at 5 during the weekdays. Man, how beautiful are these fall flowers? I mean, my goodness, they've already got incredible. How about this? The poinsettias are in for Thanksgiving. Look at that photo. If you're not watching, get to the Clegg's Facebook page. I mean, the rows and scores of poinsettias, all the different colors. Amazing. You got to check it out over at Clegg's Nursery, just in time for Thanksgiving. Get on by any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Buy local, shop local. They've been around for more than 60 years. Be sure to tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Who that say they're gonna beat them Saints? Let's head behind enemy lines to preview this week's matchup.
They are really, really ball aware. They do a great job. They tip balls at the line of scrimmage. They have big physical corners, but they take the ball away. They do a good job.
Kevin Stefanski talking about the Saints' defense, ability to take the ball away, could come into play this weekend. Jameis Winston coming back to the Dome. Mary Kay Cabot covers the Browns, has for a long time. Cleveland Plain Dealer. She's at cleveland.com. That's at Mary Kay Cabot, Cabot, if you want to give her a follow. Mary Kay, we appreciate the time. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Let's just pick up right there. Jameis was something that was a big conversation when he was here for 4 years. Probably a conversation after the game against the Chargers, the turnovers. How are folks there in Cleveland around the Browns organization feeling about Jameis' ability to protect the ball this week?
Well, that's going to be paramount, of course, because as you guys know better than anyone, the Saints are great at intercepting it, taking it away. They're number 4 in the NFL with 12 picks this season, and Jameis knows that he has to protect the ball. It's a point of emphasis. Kevin Stefanski has talked about it, brought it up, and Jameis has as well. So what he has to do when he goes down there is not press, not get outside of himself, and do the things that he learned from, like he told us, like he learned from Sean Payton and Drew Brees when he was there, to not do some of the things that he had been doing in games, making those kinds of mistakes. So he really reined it in when he worked with them, and he fared well that way when he did play for the Saints, and he got away from that a little bit over the past couple of weeks here.
you've covered the league for a long time, so you've seen a lot of this where players have gone up against former teams. Do you put any stock, Mary Kay, into the familiarity, the Saints knowing Jameis or him knowing them?
Well, a lot has changed since Jameis has been there, and things have changed even more now, of course, with an interim situation going on with the Saints and former Browns defensive coordinator Joe Woods being there. I will say that Joe Woods knows Kevin Stefanski. He knows the way that Kevin Stefanski thinks, and kind of vice versa. So, I think there is something to be said for it, but it probably cancels each other out a little bit since they each know a lot about each other. But more so than anything, what I think could play a factor this game is the fact that I think James is going to be pretty emotional, pretty hyped up to be there. I asked him about that today, and he said he's just going to try to keep, stay even keel, not get outside of himself, not get too emotional. But I think it is going to be emotional for him there. He spent a lot of time there. He's an emotional guy, as you know. He's got great friends there. Demario Davis just always raves about him, as we know. And he's got tons of other really close friends there. And I do think that sometimes it is a lot when you find yourself in a situation like that where you poured your heart and soul into a team.
There may not be an opposing starting quarterback that ever gets a louder cheer in the Dome than Jameis might this weekend, because the fan base loved him as well. What else is there offensively? Understanding, obviously, Amari Cooper's been traded. There's some guys we know in that receiving core, but what pops? What stands out this weekend for Cleveland offensively?
Well, the player I think to watch offensively, or at least one of them lately who has been heating up, is Cedric Tillman, second-year pro out of Tennessee. He's doing a really nice job. He's finding a nice connection with Jameis Winston. And then Jerry Jeudy, he's having a nice season in his first year with the Cleveland Browns. So these are a couple of guys that have done pretty well. And then, Elijah Moore, I keep thinking that Elijah's going to have a really nice breakout game one of these days, and you never know when that's going to come. So if Jameis can stay away from the interceptions, he's going to sling it around there. He's going to take some chances. The Browns are 2-7. They don't have a whole lot to lose right now, and I think they're going to be aggressive.
She's on Twitter at Mary Kay Cabot, Cleveland.com's Cleveland Plain Dealer, covers the Browns. Flip it over to the defensive side of the ball. Where's the biggest question defensively for Cleveland?
Well, they just traded away Zadarius Smith. He was their second leading sacker behind Myles Garrett with 5 sacks this season. So now they've got a couple of other guys that are going to step up over there on the opposite side of Myles. Obo Okoronkwo will probably start there, and then a younger guy, Isaiah McGuire, will be coming in after Obo there on that other side. So these are some of the guys to watch for there. And then the defensive backs are actually looking for their first interception of the season. I know that's hard to believe, but the Browns have 1 interception this whole entire season. They're tied for last in the NFL with the Giants in that category. The one who has the interception is Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, their excellent linebacker, who will not be playing in this game. He's on injured reserve with a neck injury. So they are looking for their defensive back to come up with some picks. So they're going to be making that a point of emphasis. Obviously, staying within the play and playing with the being assignment sound, but also looking to get those takeaways.
Mary Kay, Cleveland was, if you correct me if I'm wrong, but they were one of the better scoring defenses in the league a year ago, and we've seen that number plummet a bit. What's happened there on the defensive side of the ball for the Browns?
Well, it seems as though a lot of things have happened. There are a lot of factors that have gone into nothing working out very well this season for this football team. But when your offense isn't scoring points, when your offense can't convert the third down, when you can't stay on the football field and get those points and get ahead of the game, it puts an enormous strain on your defense. And I think that's probably what's happened with the defense more than anything. And there have been a couple of areas that haven't gone as well as they've wanted. Their second cornerback or their third cornerback, Martin Emerson Jr., hasn't stepped up into the Pro Bowl caliber season. I think they believed he probably would this year. There have been a couple of other guys who haven't had the seasons maybe that they had hoped, and there have been some injuries. So I think all of those things have contributed.
A couple more for you. You mentioned, obviously, things not going great for Cleveland this year. Obviously, everyone's familiar with Deshaun Watson's injury. The team's sitting there at 2-7. The Saints are kind of going through something similar, a very disappointing season, especially relative to what the expectations might have been. What's the vibe like around the locker room and around the organization right now for Cleveland?
Well, the number one thing, of course, is trying to figure out what's going to happen at quarterback. No one knows for sure if Deshaun Watson is going to come back here and play football for the Cleveland Browns again. That is just a question that no one can answer at this time. He's coming off of a ruptured Achilles. He will need at least 9 months probably to recover from that. And the Browns have got to figure out what they're doing at quarterback. It's why it's important for Jameis Winston to go out and play well. Can he challenge for some kind of a bridge quarterback role here? Can he challenge for the starting job? So he's got 8 more games to put some film out there, show what he can do for this team. And then they've got a couple of other guys on the roster in Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Bailey Zappi, who might also get some kind of an opportunity. But that's the number one question here going forward is, who is the quarterback going to be for the Cleveland Browns? And we all know how important it is to get that right.
Mary Kay Cabot, Cleveland Plain Dealer, cleveland.com. 2 more for you. One, here as we talk on Wednesday, the initial injury report was out. Only 5 players listed there for Cleveland. Anything significant worth keeping an eye on with respect to injuries for Sunday?
You know, not really. This is actually the healthiest the Cleveland Browns have been all season long. Every single player on the roster that is active right now.
Okay, we lost Mary Kay's phone there. I got one more I want to ask her, Muse. Let's see if she's still there, and we'll connect again. She was saying every player on the roster that's active, and then the phone went into a little cell phone graveyard. We'll see if we can get Mary Kay back, because I do want to ask one more. We got her? Okay, great. Mary Kay, apologies. You had said every player on the roster that's active, and then your phone went to a cell phone graveyard.
Oh, sorry about that.
All good.
I'm at the Browns facility right now, and sometimes the cement walls will get to you here in more ways than one. But anyways, but the all players on the roster practiced today, and I have not seen that this season at all. That's the first time I've seen it. Usually you're seeing 14 guys on the injury report, 13 guys on the injury report here, and a bunch that haven't practiced. But everybody that was active practiced today, and that's an absolute first. It's a good sign for the Cleveland Browns, but I still think that this is going to be a very, very challenging football game for them.
So last thing then, if there is a blueprint for Kevin Stefanski and the Browns to get a win in New Orleans, how does it look?
Protecting the football. That's it. Number one, they need to win the turnover battle. That was the problem last week against the Chargers. 3 interceptions by Jameis Winston, and he has had 5 dropped. In addition to those 3, 5 dropped in his first 2 starts here. So protecting the ball is the absolute name of the game. And then the defense maybe going out and trying to get a few themselves. And also Myles Garrett doing the best that he can to disrupt Derek Carr.
She is Mary Kay Cabot on Twitter at Mary Kay Cabot, C-A-B-O-T. Give her a follow. Cleveland Plain Dealer, cleveland.com, and covering the Browns for a long time. We appreciate it. Enjoy the football this weekend.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. It's After Further Review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Quick break. Sean Salsbury's next on AFR.
After Further Review.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. I love sharing all those 5-star Google reviews. This one came from Myra Sanders, who said, Justin, the technician, was wonderful. He informed me of the issues he found. He gave me a quote on parts replacement that we needed, which was lower than expected. Thanks to Justin. Another 5-star Google review for River City's 1 Hour Air. You know, that's one thing that you'll always find with River City's 1 Hour Air. They're never going to try to upsell you or push something onto you. What they will do is, if they find an issue, they will explain it to you and give you a good, better, and best option, and you decide. For example, Eric and I, we knew the AC in our bedroom was on its last leg, and we made the decision for years to continue to just monitor and maintain it until it went out, until we had to replace it. You decide. It's River City's 1 Hour Air.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly...
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, rolling along here in hour number 2. We missed Sean Salsbury yesterday. He was good enough to pivot and join us for a segment here today. We always love his insight to talk a little quarterback play. He's on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Give him a follow. Sean, how are you, man?
I'm good, Matt. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, all things considered, but the game this weekend really stunk and kind of put a damper on a lot of things around here. You know, you and I talked last week about the turnovers, the issues that Nusmeier had against Texas A&M, and then they roll into the Alabama game, and there's 3 more turnovers. I mean, Sean, what do you attribute this to? Have defenses sort of identified something where they're able to confuse Garrett? Is it just bad decisions? Like, what do you see?
Combination, Matt, and you know I've championed his cause. Not that he needs me, but you know how I believe in it because I love. First thing I always start with toughness and football IQ and guys that grind. I do, and that he's stuck around. That things matter to me, and he's a damn good football player. But 2 things about this team and him in particular as well. If you would have told me that I was going to see what A&M did to them almost times 2 in the run game, I that's as shocking a thing as, I mean, there's a lot of shocking stuff in college football. I can't believe what I saw now back-to-back years with knowing, and I told you before this last week, I said, you got to make him one-dimensional and make that one dimension him beat you from the pocket. If he beats you with his feet on the one dimension, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And Milroe did. Now back to Nusmeier. After watching him roll through some early, when turn the ball over but get back into it and from the USC game and the development and growth with the way he was throwing it and decisions he was making. I'm like, he may miss some throws, but this dude, you can win a lot with him, and he's really good. And I don't know because I'm not in his head and none of us are. I don't get to sit around with him at home or have conversations like he and his pops do. And as a dad to son and a coach to his son, or around the locker room or what he is with his buddies hanging around. So I don't know where between the years, because I don't care how good you are. When you do it on a national stage twice where you put your team in a bind, that'll have an effect. It happened to me in college where by the third time it's like, can I get over these stupid mistakes? And then finally you do and you get back into it. But to the player and the quarterback, it feels like it lasts years. And I'm not kidding you. So I'm not trying to play psychologist, but from my vantage point in watching him, there feels to be, and I've seen this in quarterbacks before, that, decisions. Obviously, we can see when you're throwing it, when somebody, you can't throw that ball. Certain throws you'll make. And then all of a sudden, then you grip it a little harder. Then you force it. You see stuff. You borrow trouble. You start seeing ghosts as a quarterback. And then the decisions you normally make are on time or a split second later, and that ball, instead of the throw, it's the bender. What was that, Auburn? The one we've talked about ad nauseum.
The Ole Miss game, yeah.
The Ole Miss game. That's right, down the middle. And then you turn right around, and then you don't make it the next time. And then if he's late with that throw, boom, then it's not complete. So what happens? You turn the ball over in big games where God and the world are seeing two of them. It can't help but affect you. Now, it takes a special guy to say, I'm going to keep chucking it, and he will. But he's been part of the problem, which that's the other part. I cannot believe what I saw on the quarterback run with Milroe, and we saw it with A&M, and then with Milroe, and then with with Nuss, Garrett. I can't believe that this is festered into this. And now we're sitting here questioning, well, damn, what happens if it goes again? Are there 3 losses? They're in effect out of the playoffs. So I wish I could pinpoint, if I was in a meeting and got into his head, but just watching him on tape, ball seems to be a little late. There's skittish isn't the right word for him, but you can feel that way, Matty. I'm just telling you can. This isn't just his ability to drop back, throw, and play. At this position more than any in sports, maybe pitching or when you're going through a slump as a hitter and you grip the bat tighter. But as a quarterback, having lived it, and then people starting to question and side-eye you, not only fans and media, but even your own teammates, whether they are or aren't, they're still like, what happened? I had a buddy ask me this week, what happened to Nusmeier? Who's a big football guy. I said, I wish I could give you the exact answer. It's not one answer, but I can tell you this, confidence and anticipation does a lot for quarterbacks, and you start to see 15 guys. He's got to get back to knowing, and it's so cheesy, but the basics of playing that position, because right now there's probably a lot of questions and people sitting on the fence about what kind of player he's going to be, which is sad to me. It's a bummer.
You coach and tutor a lot of young quarterbacks. So if you were working with Garrett, and obviously you're not in the meeting rooms every day, I understand that, but
right.
If this was your pupil, what are you telling him this week?
First thing I'd say is we spend way too much time in coaching and teaching, and I hear it a lot on the circuit, right? No, don't do that. No, don't do this. No, don't make that throw. I've tried really hard, Matty, over the last decade plus or 15 years when I'm talking to quarterbacks or players or giving a speech or, leadership, whatever it is. I've tried really hard not to tell people, and especially in coaching quarterbacks, I try not to tell them no. I try to tell them, well, here's how maybe we can do it better. Right. And I'm sorry, because I'm telling you what, fragile. This position, no matter how confident a guy appears, there's plenty of them that are insecure and fragile, and that's what drives them to be successful. You get what I'm saying? It's not just, oh, man, I'm the quarterback. It's a fragile position for superstars as well. I would simply start with one thing. I would ask him, I'd hand him a football or sit in a meeting and I'd say, do you really believe in your heart you forgot how to play? Do you really think you lost your skill set in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks? And he's going to tell me no. I'm going to say, okay, I want you to tell me 3 things that you're great at as a quarterback that you're great at. And he's going to tell me those 3 things. And then we're going to feed off, and I'm going to say, okay, well, you tell me what your perspective is of what's happened. And we go, this is just him and I talking, and we wouldn't be shared with anybody else. And he's going to tell me. So the point is, and Matty, when I went through my controversy in the broadcasting and got out, and me, I'm as self-deprecating, but also as open book and transparent as there is. The one thing nobody ever told me as you went through mistakes, and I know it's stupid, but you fix them and you're a better person for it, and these were life mistakes, is I never lost my talent. But I did start to question, am I a good broadcaster? What's going on here? Now, it's been forever, but it's been a long time. Hell, we're pushing a decade and a half. But I did question it. And then I had a guy come up to me one day and say, dude, did your talent change? I said, no, because then you don't want to go to interviews or what do I do? Do I get in another profession? It's the same thing here. He's a good player, and he's going through a hard time. If he lets the mental part of it, so I would focus on what he's great at, not what he's screwed up on the last few weeks. He's a quarterback. Crap's going to happen. Ain't going to be the last time on Sundays. He's going to go through it. Yeah. He's going to play sometime as a rookie, and he's going to get his ass handed to him. And he's going to, how do I come out of it? I can show you a long list of those guys. The key is for him let's focus on what you do well and get back to the basic mechanics of 1, 2, 3, ball out, 1, 2, 3, hitch, ball out, and quit inventing stuff that's not there. They only got 11 of them. You're not playing against 15 of them, although it may feel like that. I would focus on what he does well. I know that sounds like singing and sitting in a circle singing Kumbaya, but if we were one-on-one, that's the only way I can see to dig in and get him to start thinking like knowing he's a great player. Now on the sidelines when there's a heated moment, hell, sometimes you need a cleat in your ass too. I get that. But for him to go out there and continue to deal with you tough love coaching, Brian's a tough love guy. You and I both know that. Yeah. Hell, he has been. But at times – I'm a big guy in criticizing when you're going great and uplifting when you're going bad. And that's a message I'd send him. He didn't forget how to play. It just looks like it for him. And then going and watching on tape, he's like, how did I make that throw? But you'll make that throw 1,000 more times on the good side. So that's where my focus would be.
Sean Salsbury is with us. Brian Kelly was asked Wednesday on the SEC Coaches Teleconference if, given the struggles that Garrett's had, if they should give a look to Ricky Collins, who's different skill set, mobile quarterback. Yep. And he very quickly said, no, their best chance to win is with Garrett. You're not the coach of the team, so I'll ask you, is there a point where you give a look to the young guy?
Not yet, man. First off, I'm a big believer in the guys that give me the best chance to win. And when we on the outside, Matt, you and I love football fans, and I love their opinion. That's why they pay the money to go to stadiums and media. I'm not doubting everybody has what they see with their own optics. If I made my decisions based on fans as a quarterback or a coach and every day or the media, your head would explode. We wouldn't be able to do it because everybody's got a different one. But I also know that they're not in the meeting room or watching on the practice field, the other guys and him. So while I'm as critical as need to be when necessary, but I'm not going to attack somebody just because it's the thing to do because it's good for clicks. I know this. He's played poorly. He's been part of the reason why they've lost a couple games and are now on the outside looking in. Part of the reason. Now, I didn't see him make one damn tackle on defense on Jalen Milroe I didn't see him stop one guy on defense. Why? Because he plays quarterback. He didn't get a chance to. So there's a lot that they got to get right. But are we replacing the guy who was responsible for the quarterback? Is he getting benched and not going to play again? Are we playing a freshman that we think is going to be good in 3 years? Now, as I say that, if this continues, now it just comes down to the sheer, dude, you're going to have to get it back on your own, or if we need you again. I got to make decisions because then I'm telling the 80 other guys or 90 other guys on the team that I don't respect them, that I'm playing one guy. When he doesn't give me the best chance to win, whether it's mentally, physically, or emotionally, I'll move on and give the other guy a chance. But if this continues, they lose another game, they're 4-loss team, we hit the last 2 weeks of the season, he's going to be going to the NFL. I got to find out what I got, absolutely. And you got to know this as whether it's Garrett, you're doing everything you can to win, and hopefully that'll take care of the rest and you can finish out the season. But I'm not giving Lifetime Achievement Award if I'm Brian Kelly or anybody else. I'm playing the guy who gives me and my team the best chance to win. But I also know there comes a point in time, if you're not, I'll hug you and I'll love you. But I'm not sacrificing more wins or the development of my team because you haven't got out of your own head or haven't started to make good decisions. We've seen the movie before with plenty of players in football, but I'm not ready to make that move yet. He goes out and throws 3 picks this week, and he's the reason offensively they're not scoring. And not only do I think it may happen, you can rest assured Brian's going to start to say, okay, what do I have going forward? You have to. That's why it's the toughest position in the world to play, and there's only so many scholarships, and there's only so many great ones every year. That's why.
He's Sean Salsbury on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. You can catch him every weekday morning there, Sports Talk 790 in Houston. Usually we get a couple of segments, so we have a chance to talk NFL, but we got to keep it short this week. Sean, always appreciate it, man. We're looking forward to next week, hopefully talking about LSU win. Tigers getting back on track.
Absolutely. Congrats to Riz on the first win. That's a great one against a team that they showed up and played good football. And look at the stats real quick, Matty.
Yeah.
You're thinking, how did New Orleans win that game? When you watch it all, for 20 extra play. I mean, everything, It's like, well, get a few turnovers and make a few big plays and get the receiver in the mix. It looked pretty cool. So I look forward to talking about both next week.
Man, it was the inverse of everything that had happened with Dennis Allen. They were they were finding ways creatively to lose. And then you look at this one and go, how the hell did they win?
Right. And they found a way to win. And you say, well, the numbers tell me if I didn't watch the game, if somebody didn't watch, you'd say, oh, man, what was the score? Atlanta? No.
Yeah.
They won. So that's when those stats are misleading, the only one that matters. So it was really good. I was happy that you guys win. And it's always tougher to get the second one. So we'll see what happens. I look forward to it, brother. Thanks.
Thanks, Sean. That is Sean Salsbury. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. Oh, yeah. They do shutters as well over at Relief Windows. Y'all check him out. Remember, call Brandon Holly and the gang. They've been a leader in the Gulf South, man, for almost 2 decades now. Tell you all the time, if you're just shopping price, don't call Relief Windows. If you're just saying, let me go get a handful of quotes to see who's going to give me the best price, it's never going to be Relief Windows. They sell a premium product. They have an incredible customer service division. They offer a lifetime transferable warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage. See how that stacks up with any other company. It won't. That's why Relief Windows is the best. You want the best product, the best service, the best install, the best service after the sale, the best warranty. You want the best? You call Relief Windows. 288-8138, 288-8138 for Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Okay, Mucilave Tigers and the Pros to wrap up hour number 2 next in 15 minutes from right now. Kim Mulkey is here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Renaissance Hotel, the Watermark Hotel, 2 amazing hotel properties, Watermark Downtown, the Renaissance Southtown. Hey, we're getting close to the weekend. Remember the Watermark Downtown? I tell you all the time about the Gregory. That's the restaurant in the Watermark Hotel downtown. The Gregory offers Sunday brunch. If you love Sunday brunch, maybe you got a birthday or something worth celebrating coming up, I'm telling you, grab a reservation and go check out Sunday brunch at the Watermark. If you've never been to the Watermark Hotel, the Gregory right there inside of the lobby of the Watermark is awesome. Big open air restaurant, awesome to people watch on 3rd Street in downtown Baton Rouge. The brunch menu is outstanding. It's affordable, and if you're worried about parking, don't. Because if you're dining at the Gregory inside the Watermark, it's complimentary valet parking. So you pull up to the front, they valet your car for free. It's the Gregory downtown at the Watermark Hotel. Remember, it's the Watermark and the Renaissance Hotels.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them, like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. All right, Kim Mulkey. In 10 minutes, Russ Mitchell next hour, talking some SEC football. Right now, Muso. Tigers and the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Well, it is award season in Major League Baseball. Told you yesterday, Paul Skeens finalist for the NL Cy Young and NL Rookie of the Year. Late yesterday evening on Tuesday, it was announced that Josh Smith took home the 2024 Silver Slugger Award in the American League. If you're unfamiliar, the Silver Slugger is awarded to the best offensive player at each position in both leagues, the American and the National. Smith took it home for utility player in the American League. Of course, spent time this season with the Rangers at third, short, and in the outfielder. He is the 5th Silver Slugger, I should say the 5th player to win a Silver Slugger award in LSU baseball history. You look like you have something?
Should have been an all-star.
Yep. Joins Albert Bell, Aaron Hill, Alex Bregman, and DJ LeMahieu.
Are those guys any good?
They were pretty good, yeah. Some of them still. One of them's about to get broke off in Alex Bregman.
You already did once.
Yep. Here comes contract number 3 for Bregman. Smith hit .258 this season for the Rangers. Career high in doubles with 30. Had 13 homers, 62 RBI. Scored 67 runs as well. And as Matt said, yes, should have been an all-star. Hovered around 280, 285 virtually the entire season. But congratulations nonetheless to Josh Smith. Naz Reid.
Should have stayed.
Speaking of award winners, took home 6th man of the year. He's working on it again already. Leading scorer for the Timberwolves last night. 28 points for Naz Reid. All of that off the bench. Shot 50% from behind the arc. 6 boards as well. His second 20-point game this month here in November. Averaging 15 and 5. So far early in the 2024 season. They were facing the Trailblazers. Duop Reef on the other side. Did not play, though, last night. Coach's decision. Strange. They just signed him to a deal. What are we doing? Let's get Duop on the floor if you're Portland. You stink anyway. What do you have to lose? He could make you better.
Duop. Like a little barbershop quartet there?
Yeah, barbershop quartet.
How did we never take advantage of that when he was here?
I don't know. I like it, though.
You would.
Well, like swing, you can get some swing music in there, too. Oh, they had that back, yeah.
We just went from barbershop quartet to swing music? I don't get it.
It's kind of the same vibe, though. Just
no, not at all.
Yeah, they'd play them in like the diners on the jukebox, and everybody would dance around. Yeah, that was the thing.
People don't dance around to a barbershop quartet.
That's why I said you could throw in some swing music in there, too.
But you said it's the same vibe.
I said it's the same type of vibe, same type of lyrics. Yes, it is.
There's no vibe at all similar.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't understand. a swing music and a barbershop quartet, the vibe is not in any way similar. They're not similar at all.
You can have upbeat barbershop quartet. Yeah, absolutely, yes, you can.
Muso, have you ever in your life seen people swing dancing to a barbershop quartet? Or dancing at all to a barbershop quartet?
Somebody has to have danced before to a barbershop quartet.
Do you understand just the fact that you're having a very difficult time defending your stance illustrates how ridiculous your stance is?
But what I'm trying to say...
Hey, listen, in your whole sixness, and we're less than a minute now, it's okay to back off and go, no, maybe a barbershop quartet and swing music aren't the same.
It's not... I had a hard time conveying what I was actually going for.
Yes.
Not that it's the same... Where the track I was on made sense. I just didn't explain it well. Yes, that's Tigers in the Pros.
Yeah, you did not explain it well. Let me explain very well. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. You know, Muse, that kind of took the place of Plucker's Trivia right there. Very similar feel, like swing music and a barbershop quartet. You'll never be confused when you walk into Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You'll always get an amazing, beautiful, sparkling diamond, sure to thrill her when she sees the red box under the Christmas tree or for any special occasion. Engagement rings, tennis bracelets, earrings, pendants, watches, and other timepieces, just the best. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Okay, Kim Mulkey coming up right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
Right by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com. Y'all know where to find them. Locations all over South Louisiana. They started in Morgan City back in 1968. Not that you need the history lesson, but I love the business and I love telling you about it. Mr. Charlie opened shop back in 1968. They moved up toward the Baton Rouge area. Now have since wandered westward as well toward West Baton Rouge and, of course, Acadiana, Lafayette, Youngsville, that whole area. If you're in Livingston Parish, you've got your own Shawbills as well. It's Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. Maybe you're heading to Gainesville this weekend. You're going to hit the road. Before you do, you need your oil change, your tires rotated. Get to Shawbills. Go to ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com. You could schedule service. You could shop tires. If it's time to buy new tires, that stinks. Nobody likes spending money on tires. But if you got to do it, buy the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. That's at Shawbills. Go to ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com. For more than 50 years, Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Colts reinstated quarterback Anthony Richardson as their starter for the rest of the season, beginning against the Jets on Sunday. Richardson benched late last month after a game where he asked to come out for one play because he was tired. Joe Flacco started the last two games, both losses. The change back to Richardson had to be made, believes ESPN NFL analyst Jason McCourty.
Flacco just hasn't played well, and where they are as an organization, you can't keep Richardson on the bench, and Flacco's going out there and they're turning the ball over. They're not doing much on offense. You got to go back to Anthony Richardson and let him develop. So at least, even if the season becomes a failure, you know where you stand at the quarterback position.
Jason McCourty on Carlin versus Joe. Jaguars quarterback Mac Jones starts in place of the injured Trevor Lawrence Sunday against Detroit. The Raiders staying with Gardner Minshew as QB1 versus Miami Sunday. NBA Spurs say Coach Greg Popovich's current absence due to a mild stroke he suffered November 2nd, expected to make a full recovery. Assistant Mitch Johnson coaches San Antonio for the foreseeable future.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! Go!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Russ Mitchell here in about 13 minutes from right now. Signing day, and my goodness, what a day for Kim Mulkey in the LSU women's basketball program, the #1 class in the country. And Coach Mulkey, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Coach, always our pleasure. How are you?
I'm doing great. When you can sign a pretty good class, you're having a good day. We had a wonderful practice a while ago, and now I'll prop my feet up and see what I can get into at the house.
I want to talk about the 4 outstanding players you signed, but I want to ask you, and I don't mean this to any way be like a pandering question or anything, but I think people are interested. You have been so good at this for so long, meaning recruiting. Like, what makes you so good at this part of the job?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to take credit for that because you have to understand my personality and the way I have things arranged in the office. You have coaches in all sports at the collegiate level that have their strengths and weaknesses. And quite honestly, I don't know that recruiting is one of my strengths. It is when I can deal with parents. It is when I can deal with grandparents. I'm probably very, very bad when I have to deal with summer league ball coaches or AAU coaches. And I don't know if that's because I'm a parent and a grandparent and I can just relate. But I have to give credit
to my coaches, that's their main job is to do the legwork. I remember for 15 years I did the legwork at Louisiana Tech, and then use me to come in and close the deal. But those guys that are on my staff, they work it every day. They're on the phones. They're texting. They're doing all these things to develop relationships. And then they tell me when I need to call or when I need to text. And then when I get those families one-on-one, I hope that they would tell you they appreciate my honesty. I tell them who I am. I tell them this is how I coach. Come watch practice. There are no secrets with me. I'll graduate your daughter is the only thing I can promise you. I can't promise you anything else. Now, NIL stuff, all that stuff, you learn about through the athletic department, but I will graduate your kid, and I'll try to make her the best player I can.
Well, you got a lot of talent in this class as well, Coach. 4 players, all in the top 25 in the country, 3 of them 5 stars, depending on what service you look at. You went very heavy also in the backcourt, 3 guards. If we could, let's talk about each of them. We'll start with Divine Burridge, who you get out of Davenport, Iowa. By the way, what led you to Davenport, Iowa there to find Divine Burridge?
Well, it wasn't just because it was Iowa. It was when you watch young people play in the summers, something attracts you to their style of play. And I just thought Divine could play any of the perimeter positions. She played mostly point guard when we watched her play. She's just one of those that grew on you. And as I watched her play and I talked to her and her mother, it became very evident that they keep up with LSU women's basketball and the players that I've had since I've been here. And she's just a point guard, good size, but I could push her over to the off guard if I needed to.
Let's talk about each one. We can go individually, and let's talk about Bella Hines next, another 5'10" guard that you get out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Maybe same question there, Coach. What did you like about Bella?
Well, first of all, Bella's family, they're baseball junkies, so I think Alex Bregman put out a little tweet today. Somebody sent it to me, and of course, they're proud of Alex being from that area. But Bella can shoot the ball, and Bella will do dirty work. She'll take the charges. She'll guard the best player on the opposing team, but she can flat out shoot the ball. And she told me when we recruited her, and her mother and dad were here and her brothers, and she said, Coach, I wanted to play for you when you were at Baylor, and that was my goal in life, was to someday play for you. And when you moved to LSU, it's just a dream. And so LSU was not on her radar until my staff and I, came here, and I just watched her play on what's called Cy-Fair. It means nothing to you guys, but Cy-Fair is a EYBL team out of the Houston area, sure. And they won everything this year and everything that they played, and so she knows what winning is about. Grace Knox is a young lady out of California, and she is one of those kind of like Morrow. You would say she's an undersized post player, but she's a rebounding machine. She can score the ball. She's a hard person to try to defend because she can take you off the dribble. She can face up and shoot it. And we beat some pretty good teams to get her, as we did all of them. Mm-hmm. But she was the last one to give us a commitment, and worked really, really hard to get Grace to leave California and come this way. And then Z, we just call her Z Johnson, out of the Louisville area. She's a big guard. Now, she can take you down there and post you up. She has a strong body, and mid-range is her game, and she's just a joy to be around. And they all actually, with the exception of Bella, came on their recruiting visit the same weekend. And so I just thought, wow, that's great that they all want to play together.
Do you like having signing day during the season, or does that create challenges?
No, it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
We're focused on the team, and recruiting is year round. So we'll sign these guys today, and then we're on the phone with underclassmen. Last weekend we had underclassmen on campus, it just never stops. The day itself or the week of signing, it's not any different. We're working and concentrating on our current team.
You mentioned, Grace mentioned the opportunity to play. I wanted to play for you at Baylor, but has the opportunity to play at LSU. I watched the documentary, I believe that Amazon did, and obviously Angel and Flaugier were both so prominently featured in your program. How much have you found from the time you showed up here to now? Has the LSU brand helped you sell this program?
I have moved very few times in my career. Louisiana Tech, 19 years, such success there with Leon Barmore.
Sure.
Then go to Baylor for 21 years. You know the success we had there, 3 national championships, 20-something Big 12 titles, if you include the conference tournament. When I was at each of those institutions, I didn't know what we did not have in recruiting because we just rolled our sleeves up and we went in and we sold our program specifically. When I came to LSU, I grew up 40 minutes up the road, so I knew what the brand was. I knew what a big institution it was. What I didn't ever experience was recruiting here, and it was very easy, quite honestly, to sell it, even though I inherited a program that had only won 9 games. I think, yes, certainly you could say my resume sells and gets us in the door somewhat, but LSU brand just really is an international brand, and it's not just one sport. And I think people just allowed us to come in their homes, and, I remembered this one in track, and I remembered this one when men's basketball, and it's just been honestly a joy. And then when you add the SEC to it, it's an attraction, and it's easy. It's easier, I guess I would say, than maybe at Baylor, private school, and then Louisiana Tech, is now kind of considered, a mid-major. So it's really been a lot of fun.
She's Kim Mulkey, inked the #1 class in the country today with 4 young ladies that'll be joining the purple and gold. Game 4 Friday at the Maravich Center against Murray State, 7 o'clock tip-off. You can hear it on our sister station, Talk 107.3 FM, so make sure you check it out or buy a ticket and go see the ladies play. 3-0 on the season. They've been impressive doing it so far. Coach, it's always our pleasure. Thanks for taking a couple of minutes today.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
You do the same. It's Kim Mulkey. This is After Further Review. By the way, you know how you know you're awesome? When you say we won 20-something Big 12 titles. Like when you've won so many conference championships, you lost count. 20-something. You notice that too, like the second you said it.
She rattled off the national championships without, 3 national championships and
20-something.
Yeah, 20-something Big 12 titles.
Yeah. I forgot how many. There was a lot of them. My goodness. Goat. All right, it's After Further Review. Russ Mitchell joins us next. Talk a little SEC football, the week that was, and what's ahead. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Y'all get on by. Check out Rouse's. We are inching closer to Thanksgiving. Want to remind you, every year, Rouse's helps you make your Thanksgiving absolutely perfect, spreading all that holiday cheer. What about right now, y'all? Been telling you about it. If you haven't done it yet, take advantage of it. Over at Rouse's, they've got an amazing deal going on right now with Rouse's where you can get a Butterball Thanksgiving turkey for free at Rouse's. All you got to do, buy a Hormel Cure 81 spiral sliced ham for $2.99 a pound and get a Butterball Grade A frozen turkey up to 14 pounds for free. It's that easy. Buy a ham, get a turkey. Buy a Hormel Cure 81 spiral sliced ham, get a free Butterball Grade A frozen turkey for your Thanksgiving dinner. Limit 1 per customer for $25 in-store purchase. Visit Rouse's.com for more details. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile. on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
It's football! Rusty, come on up here. Absolutely, I thought that was going to happen because it's state. It's supposed to happen.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
How are things out there at DBU?
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
The only way you can point up is up.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
Just like Troy.
Can't see the line, can you, Russ?
Put your foot on his throat and choke him out.
Take it, Russ.
All right, let's get it, Russ Mitchell. By the way, an appearance this week at LouisianaSports.net as a guest columnist. Russ Mitchell, we appreciate that very much. You can go read Russ's latest column at LouisianaSports.net, where took a lot of shots at LSU, though probably deserved. How are you?
Oh, kicking the tires, lighting the fires. Happy cows.
Happy cows.
Happy cows.
I like your hat.
You like my hat? I don't usually wear hats. But this is a hat that that was sent to me from your wife. This is my parish for the sponsorship.
No. That's from me.
Oh.
I just asked her to mail it because she goes to the UPS store every day because she lives.
I see.
She lives on Amazon. We get packages delivered to the house every single day, and some things that go back. So she's going there. So I said, please mail this to Russ. But I'm glad you have it. It looks great, by the way. That black hat, the green horizontal Parish logo, Parish Construction Roofing. It's been raining a lot here, Russ. When you're a partner in a roofing company, you like the rain a lot. Let's just say that.
I can completely appreciate that.
I like the rain. Okay, I didn't like your column so much. probably because there was just a lot of truth in it. But would you like to give us the gist?
It's interesting. I remember I was at the game, the debacle in 2018 when LSU was just undressed 29-0 by the Tide. And the Tide are responsible for the greatest single-season football team in the history of college football, because they broke LSU so badly in 2018 that Coach O had to change things. He had to change things. I remember when you were at fall practice, and you told me that they were lining up 5 wide with nobody in the backfield. And I was like, come on, man.
I know.
That's impossible. That is impossible. 50 years of LSU being a I formation, fullback, running up the middle, ground and pound, and now suddenly, bang, 5 wide with nobody in the backfield. That's what we saw on Saturday. Not as bad, but come on, man. Exactly what we said couldn't happen happened. Blake, you made Milroe look like a Heisman winner. I have people sending me requests to vote for Milroe for the Heisman after that game, after that performance in Death Valley. And if it was just the one performance, yeah, you'd actually literally give him the Heisman off of that one performance running against LSU. He only had 109 yards passing.
He stinks throwing the ball.
Dude, 185 yards, 15 yards a carry. He looked like, I don't know, man. I don't want to make a biblical reference, but he looked like the second coming running over LSU's face in that game. Like, how many people who weren't at the game turned it off in the third quarter? Like, I guarantee you there were a lot of people that turned off that game in the third quarter. I did. I turned it over to something else and came back and watched it later. Something's got to change. Something's got to change. I'm not going to lose it here. But something's got to change. You can't go into a game knowing that that's the only way they can beat you and allow him to run for 15 yards a carry.
So what do you change?
Brother, if I could change it, I'd be doing that for a living. But something's got to change. By the way, I believe Kelly's the right guy for this job. I believe Baker's the right guy for this job. I think the thing that definitely has to change is you got to ramp up the quality of talent on that field on defense. It's just not good enough. And if the teams that are largely, if you think about players like Jaden, if you think about players like Milroe, this is what college football is today. You got to be able to stop this. So you have to have the players on your defense to stop this. I don't think it's a scheme thing. I think it's the kids. And I don't want to blame kids, and I'm not going to pick any single one of them out. But, bruh, that was horrific. Horrific.
Yeah, they don't have the skill set to stop that. And it hadn't been just Milroe. It's been 3 different running quarterbacks now with Sellers, Reed, and then Milroe.
And can you finally agree with me that the reason why LSU was able to stop Green was he was hurt? I think if Green had been the same, if he had been as healthy as he was when they played Oklahoma State, I think he would have gouged LSU too.
Maybe. I don't know what specifically they were doing differently. Jaquindon Jackson did get hurt in that game. He came in injured and left injured as well. So there was a lot to it. But, you have a much larger sample size of LSU not defending a running quarterback. That suggests what happened against Arkansas was a great outlier. What about the other big game of the weekend, which was Ole Miss-Georgia? I liked Georgia in that game. Ole Miss had not won a big game under Lane Kiffin yet. That is a factually accurate statement. And they won that convincingly at home. So are we believing that Ole Miss has turned a corner? Is Georgia regressed? Is it somewhere in between? What say you?
Again, hey, Moose, go find the tape. Didn't we say mark the tape last week? This is a Georgia team that's not playing with the confidence they had last year. They play to the quality of the opponent every week.
Okay,
Their quarterback.
Hang on. Muse said he marked the tape. All right, I don't know what we're listening to, but hang on. Here it is. This is what he marked. Here we go.
On the road with this Georgia team, I think they fall behind early, and Ole Miss wins it.
Okay, you had Ole Miss winning. They did not fall behind early. They actually got up 7-0, and then never got off the mat. I mean,
look,
did they even come close to scoring again?
I will say this. Everybody wants to talk about Ole Miss's offense. It wasn't the offense here. It was the defense. 5 sacks. They forced 4 fumbles, 2 of them for loss, an interception. They limited the Bulldogs to 246 yards on offense, and Georgia only had 2 plays, 2 longer than 20 yards in the whole game.
That's crazy.
Offensively, they were efficient. They weren't great. Boys and girls, the word of the day is efficient. Jackson Dart, I know he got banged up right at the start of the game, but 199 yards throwing, 50 yards rushing. Austin Simmons, who came in early, 5 of 6 for 60 plus. They scored on 7 of their 10 drives, and Davis was 5 for 5 kicking. I will say that they were only 4 of 13 on third. If you want to nitpick on Ole Miss's performance, and it was a really good win. 4 of 13 on third down conversions. That's why they had to kick so many field goals. On a neutral field against a top-tier opponent, I think you're going to – but I think the thing you can really take out of this is Georgia is not a top-tier team. I'm not saying they can't win the championship if Beck gets it together, but 12 interceptions in 6 games, that kid has definitely regressed.
Yeah, man, the turnovers are an incredible issue. I want to talk to you about Georgia-Tennessee. We'll do that coming up in the next segment. Speaking of Tennessee, they're going to get left out? Outside looking in there?
Can you believe that they moved Indiana and BYU in front? And the guy even said, the selection committee guy said, because they had those big wins against Michigan and Utah. And I was like, first of all, I don't want to get too worked up about this because, again, it's still really early.
Yeah,
but Michigan's ranked 10th in the Big Ten, and Utah's having its worst season in 12 years. They're on their 4th-string quarterback, and they're ranked 15th in the Big 12. And you're telling me those are the big wins for Indy?
Huge wins.
Huge. What a joke. Tennessee's at the top of the there are so many great surprises in this season. How about the fact that we are in November, and the South Carolina Gamecocks are a 12-point favorite against a ranked team. That is amazing, man. Amazing. This is an exciting season.
I'm excited. I'm excited to watch LSU backdoor their way into Atlanta. It's going to be so good. Just to watch. What was that sigh? That would be amazing. You don't love all your children the same.
I think in terms of expectations, I headed into this season expecting LSU to be a B grade team.
Yeah, that's fair.
And we talked about it at the beginning of the season and pretty much throughout the season. I thought the defense, you promised me the defense would be better, and they're better.
They're better.
Against, as I said in the article on LSUsports.net.
LouisianaSports.net.
I'm sorry, LouisianaSports.net. Against the worst, historically worst ever. Congratulations, you're better.
They're better.
But this is a B grade team that makes B grade mistakes. So I didn't head into the season expecting that LSU would make it to Atlanta, but it still does. It's so embarrassing. The game Saturday was so embarrassing.
Yeah. They're better.
They're better.
I'll put it to you this way. Russ, if this defense was on last year's team, they're the national champion.
Actually, you know what? Particularly in a 12-game season, or excuse me, a 12-team playoff.
Even last year in a 14 playoff, you're still in.
Because you'd have only 2, maybe even 1 loss. And Jaden doesn't. It's interesting, though, because then maybe Jaden doesn't win the Heisman. Now, I'd obviously rather be.
No, you still would have needed him to go. but you would have gotten ass stop against Ole Miss, and you wouldn't have lost 55-49. You would have won 55-49. I don't know. Maybe Nick still targets Jaden and knocks him out of the game, so maybe you lose that one. But in any event, the point is, I mean, my goodness, if you had a pulse defensively last year, you're certainly a playoff team and maybe win the national championship. They have a pulse this year. But they very clearly have an Achilles heel, which has been exposed over and over and over again. 3 games to go. All right, let me knock out a break real quick. Okay, Russ is with us, brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. You got a leak? Tell you all the time, only 2 ways to find out if you got roof damage. Let us come do a free, no-obligation roofing inspection, or wait till it rains, you find out you got water in your house. Call Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Quick break, come back, preview the weekend ahead in the SEC with Russ. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you own a business and you are struggling to find the right people for your business, if the lack of the right people is making you less efficient, and it doesn't matter if it's skilled blue-collar workers, if it's any type of white-collar job, office job, C-level management, you need Glow Resources. You see, Glow Resources, while they're headquartered in Baton Rouge, they've got offices all over the country, and they help place employees in jobs all over the world. And though they conduct some 15,000 interviews a year, they do on average about 50 interviews a day. So 15,000 prospective candidate interviews Glow Resources does in a year. Not once have they ever had a negative review after an interview. They're experts at asking the right questions, at finding the right people for your job to make you more efficient. That's why they've got a 96% success rate. It's Glow Resources. Check them out. GLO, glowresources.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them, like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
The best kept.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I roll along here in hour number 3. Russ Mitchell is with us. Get him on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at Russ Mitchell CFB. Okay, let's turn the page to this weekend. The biggest one is Georgia-Tennessee. Everyone here is now watching with renewed interest because, as we laid out, LSU actually has a very, very, very doable path to Atlanta for the SEC championship game if there ends up a multiple-team tiebreaker with multiple teams at 6-2. But for that to happen, Georgia needs to beat Tennessee, or Vanderbilt needs to beat Tennessee, one or the other. So Tennessee would be a 2-loss team. Thoughts on the Bulldogs returning home, licking their wounds a bit, welcoming in the Vols?
Well, I mean, first of all, Carson Beck's got to figure out how to not throw interceptions.
No doubt.
We talked about it, 12 interceptions in the last 6 games. I mean, that's crazy to think how far that cat has regressed. I think obviously the key to this game, the single most important thing is whether or not Nico's healthy. The availability report will come out at 7:00 tonight. If he can't play, if that injury in the Mississippi State game knocks him out of this game, obviously that would not be very good for Tennessee's chances. But really what this game is about is Tennessee's defense against Georgia's offense. Tennessee's defense is what's been the soul of this team all season. They haven't allowed a team to score 20 or more points all year. Even in the loss on the road to Arkansas, Arkansas only scored 19.
Wow.
So, they'll be facing a Georgia offense. Again, we talked about it. It's been very inconsistent. Tennessee's done this with a pass rush that is ranked 15th in the country. That's what they're grading in their pass rush. So against a quarterback, Carson Beck, who has not been the most stable or efficient quarterback, I would point out that Georgia has the longest home winning streak in college football, 28 games. 28 straight games that Georgia has won at home. But clearly, this is not the Georgia team that we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years. So going to be so much fun to watch this game. Keep an eye on Tennessee's defense.
You got a winner?
I do. I think Tennessee wins this on the road.
So the line opened 13, Georgia 13.
I know.
Got bet down to 10, which I assume, I don't know this, Russ, I'm assuming that means the odds makers, people know that they're expecting Nico to play. Like if it went from 13 to 10, they're expecting Nico to play. I'm just guessing there, but oof.
I think 10 is crazy. Even without Nico, I don't think Georgia wins this game by 13. This is a Georgia offense that has been exceptionally inefficient. Penalties, turnovers. Like I said, against Ole Miss, 4 fumbles. They got 2 of them back, but 4 fumbles, 5 pressures, 5 sacks. I mean, just an offense that can't seem to do anything right now against arguably one of the best defenses in the conference. So even at home, even with that home winning streak, I like Tennessee. And if Nico plays and he's efficient enough to not make mistakes, then yeah, I like Tennessee in this game.
What about Missouri at South Carolina? By the way, this is one, if you're an LSU fan, you're keeping an eye on because per the tiebreakers we've talked about, Alabama played Missouri LSU and Alabama both played South Carolina. So if South Carolina wins this game, that's another dock on Alabama's opponent's winning percentage. So LSU fans very much pulling for the Gamecocks in this one.
Yeah, and I mean, South Carolina is playing some really good football right now. They won, Vandy's a good team, not a great team, but they're a good team this year. In that same bucket with Mizzou, maybe I thought in the same bucket with South Carolina, but Carolina controlled both sides of the line of scrimmage in that game. If you didn't watch it, I mean, they dominated Vandy like no team really has dominated Vandy in the SEC this season.
Yeah.
Lenore Sellers looked really good. I mean, that kid has really matured as the season has gone along. 14 of 20, 238, 2 touchdowns. Sanders ran for $126 and 3 touchdowns. They converted on 9 of 12 third downs, and then on the other side, they held Pavia to without a touchdown pass all game. I think the only other game that happened in was Alcorn State, and I don't think he was trying in that game. They won 55-0, so it didn't really matter. So this is a South Carolina team that's playing really good football right now. And Drew Pine, Brady Cook's very likely not going to play in this game, and Drew Pine did okay against a struggling OU team, 140 yards, but 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I just don't see against the South Carolina team on the road in that stadium, which again, boy, I sure hope some of the LSU fans went to Williams-Brice, such a great environment to play. I don't see Missouri winning this game on the road.
You're right. That is a massively underrated environment, not just in the SEC, but nationally. That is a great environment. That is a great place to go watching. I've been to Williams-Brice several times. Whether they're good or bad, too. Like, one of the most impressive things I ever saw in Lou Holtz's first year, Russ, when they went winless. You remember that?
Yes.
Yes. They were winless in Holtz's first year, and they put 80,000 people in that stadium every game. It's bonkers.
It's interesting because he said whether they're good or bad, they're almost always bad.
With the exception of the Spurrier era. Yes, you're right.
And yet that place rocks. I mean, if they had a little more money and a little bit better, and I mean, that could be an epic environment. If they could string together like 5 or 6 years of really good teams, that could be a terrifying place to go play a football game.
That is what we could usually say for the Swamp. I don't know what to expect really Saturday when LSU goes into Gainesville. The Gators aren't very good. They've lost 2 in a row. I had a conversation with my colleague. I host Locked on LSU. For those that aren't familiar, shout out. Please go subscribe to the Locked on LSU podcast. I'm going to do a crossover episode with the Locked on Gators host. And he said to me something to the event of, like, there's a lot of fear here that Florida's never going to be good again. And I'm like, that's a stunning thought, but that's where they are psychologically right now. And I don't know that DJ Lagway is going to play. I mean, LSU's got their issues, Russ, but Florida seems like they got bigger issues. What do you think?
Dude, they've had bigger issues for a while, man. And I love all my children the same.
No, you don't.
Except
Foley,
that my daughter
regards.
My daughter's first words were the first word she said was "dada," but the first phrase she said was "Boo Gators." So I look, man. They've got everything. They have everything they need. They just need a coach. If they get an Urban Meyer type coach or a Nick Saban type coach, that's what they need, and they've just been whiffing over one after another. Yeah, I would say that if Aiden Warner is the quarterback in this game, then I don't think you have to worry about him running for 185 yards. So I think I would feel pretty comfortable if Aiden Warner is the quarterback for the Gators. And even if Lagway is playing, I mean, he's a freshman. He's not that good either, and he's injured. So I think all of that bodes well for LSU. This is a Florida team that has run the ball a little better of late. Even in the blowout loss to Texas, they ran for 200. They ran for 200 in the win against Kentucky, 197. put up 138 against that really good Vols defense. So, and LSU's run defense is 15th in the conference. It's November, and LSU's run, I didn't say LSU's run defense is 15th in the conference. So if I was Florida, I would run the ball on every single play, man. I'd want this game to be over as quickly as possible. I'd be looking for a 2-hour mark, and I'd be trying to just run the ball on LSU. Florida's defense right now, on the other side of the ball, their defense ranks 93rd in coverage grading, 93rd in the country. Yeah. So, this is a bad matchup all around for the Florida Gators, and it couldn't happen to a worse program.
You got a thought on is Arkansas?
Dude, until I can't remember Foley's face. I mean, after the whole flood thing, that was the tipping point for me. After the Baton Rouge flood, and that was I'll never forgive. I'm gonna hold that against the Florida Gators for a long time.
That's been 8 years too, man, since that.
Yeah, might as well be yesterday to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold that. I don't like to hold grudges, but that cat's been gone. He's been retired for how long? Like 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long Strickland's been there, but yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Does Arkansas at home have a chance against Texas?
No.
Okay. Russ Mitchell on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. Thank you.
Take it easy.
It's After Further Review brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Y'all, Sign the Drive is back. Remember, 0 down, 0 due at signing, no first month's payment, no security deposit. You sign your name, and with little else, you are driving away in a brand new vehicle from South Point Volkswagen. The November sales event is here. Atlas Crossport. That's what I drive, the Atlas Crossport. Check it out. Takes out the third row, a little shorter back. Tiguan. My dad's got a Tiguan. My mom drives an Atlas. My wife drives an Atlas. I'm telling y'all, we are a Volkswagen family. My cousin drives a Crossport. We have converted the family to Volkswagen people. You understand amazing vehicles, the style, the feel, the performance of luxury, the great German engineering, the great gas mileage, all the top safety features without the cost, and they're manufactured right here in the US of A at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. Airline just north of Highland, or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, y'all, let's grab our final break. We'll come back. Jimmy will be here for Out of Locks. Don't move. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Hey, it's a great time to give our friends over at Duplessis Builders a shout. Call Derek Duplessis right now. If you're thinking about a pool, I know swimming season's done, but it's time to start thinking about a pool for spring. Man, it's November. We're thinking about a pool for the spring? Yes. Here's why. When you call Duplessis, this is a process. Number one, you got to get permitting. Number two, you got to design your pool. That can take a month, 2 months, depending, to do all that. Then they get you on the schedule, and Derek's very upfront about this, y'all. This is going to be about a 6 to 8 week build-out process for your pool because they won't cut corners. For example, it takes 2 weeks for concrete to cure. They're not going to start with tiling and coping until they allow that 2 weeks to pass. That's how they build something that lasts. You want all the landscaping and everything done by the time it's ready to swim? You better call Duplessis today. Go to duplessisbuilders.net. duplessisbuilders.net.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. Remember, trivia. 7:30 Blue Bonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Y'all get on by Pluckers tonight. Eat wings, drink beer. You don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. All right, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Outer Locks.
Outer Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
All right, Otter was 2-1 on the college football last night. We hit with Kentucky plus the 5.5. We did not hit with the over. And the first game, quite honestly, Otter, it was in progress. It started, so I didn't play it. So how did we do on the first game last night?
Lost by 1.5. I was covering 90% of the game. It was a tough one.
Happens.
But like I said yesterday too, my strongest one in the MAC was Bowling Green. So and that covered pretty easily, and that's what I got tonight. I got another. I'm going to give you a little sweat bet on 2 of the 3 in the matching, but then I'm going to give you my biggest one tonight is Northern Illinois minus 14. So remember they had that big win against Notre Dame, started out in the MAC 1-3. They smashed Western Michigan last week, and now they play Akron. This is they can beat them as bad as they want. So Northern Illinois is the big one in the MAC tonight. All right, the other 2 games, give a little sweat bet. Eastern Michigan trying to become bowl eligible for the 4th time in a row. That's like Vanderbilt becoming bowl eligible 4 times in a row. Upstate is basically the Starkville of the MAC. Tough place to win. Eastern Michigan plus 11 and in. Laying the lumber. We love just kicking the week here. Kent State minus 30.5. We're taking Miami, Ohio. 2 sweat bets there. So,
oh, man, we're going to lay – it's 31 right now at DraftKings. If you can find the 30 and a hook, get it. But the big one on Northern Illinois, but we're going to sweat out Eastern Michigan plus 10.5 in Miami of Ohio, laying the 31. Okay. I'm riding with you, brother. Let's go. I'm here for it.
My British colleagues from Bet Rivers had me on today and they wanted to talk some NBA, so I had to do a crash course on NBA. This is what I got.
All right.
I got the Orlando Magic minus 1.
That one starts in 15 minutes here. Yep.
Yeah, against the Pacers. I also took the Magic at minus 106 at at Bet Rivers. I've seen as much as minus 145 in that one. So, but to win the division, Oklahoma City, we know about the Pelicans' injuries, right? This one you're going to have to watch if you lay the 14, but it gets in the second half and it's up to 22-25. We're looking to middle this thing. I don't know if any of Oklahoma City's starters will be playing in the fourth quarter of this. When Pelicans have been struggling with the weak teams with the JV right now. Oklahoma City's young, they're deep, and they're hungry being ousted early. So I'm going to lay the 14 with Oklahoma City. But again, definitely play some middle when it gets over 20.
So what you're saying is when the number gets higher, take the Pelicans plus 20.
If it's 22 at half, 20 or more, 22 at half, that middle's going to be like you're going to be laying like 25.
Okay.
So you can catch minus 14 to plus 25. You're going to have a 10, 11 point middle. I'll be shocked if they're able to hang with this crew during the game. Rockets. Also betting the Rockets to win their division at plus 380 in this the summer league, in the NBA Cup, and also taking them 30-1 to win the whole thing. In this one, they remind me of the same resume as Indiana last year, young, energetic team, and then we're taking the Grizzlies in the second half of the ESPN doubleheader. No John Morant, they're used to it. You get an extra 3.5 points. Take the 7 in the Grizzlies plus the points.
It's up to 7 and a hook at DraftKings, by the way.
There you go.
There. All right, Otter, where are you tomorrow?
We're at Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Lee, just off of Nicholson, across from Mike Anderson.
All right, Jimmy and Charlie live at lunch, 11 to 1. They're on YouTube now as well. You can watch them on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Thank you, Otter.
Good luck.
All right, y'all have a great night. Muse, Paulie, thanks. See you tomorrow at 3.
After further review.
Getting on down the road, remind you about Optimize, generatorpeople.com, generatorpeople.com. When you live in Louisiana, it's not if, but when. It's not if your power is going to go out, it's when. It's only a matter of time. We had a storm in the Gulf in November, threatening Louisiana. Named storm in November. You know it's only a matter of time. So you need to do what I did. You need to get a Generac automatic whole home generator installed at your home. And you need to call Optimize because they are the generator people. They service all of the I-10 corridors, so from Lake Charles to Slidell, everywhere in between, 4 physical locations so they can get to you quickly. They got the best inventory, the best people, because all they do is sell, service, and install Generac automatic home standby generators. Turnkey installation, the price quote guarantee, the price they quote you is it. There's no fees after that. That's the quote. And, of course, they have financing for any budget, so you stay in control of your finances. It's optimized. GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.